Everybody, welcome back to another episode of After Ahsoka. I'm your host, Evil Sneaker. I'm here with some Jedis, some Padawans, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. What is up, gentlemen? How you doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good.
Doing great.
We got the Jedi, we got Mike Paws Literus, we got the Booze, and we got a new guest tonight, Brick Artemis. What's up, Brick?
Ooh. Oh man, nothing much, man. Thanks for having me. I know it's been a wild ride with this show, so I'm really excited to talk about it.
Yeah, you came on for like a good episode to talk about.
Oh, for sure.
Oh
Yeah. Before we get started here, there goes Graham. Pop. Ooh, dude, that sounded nice. That sounded really nice in the mic.
That was good.
Any new pickups
for anybody?
Well, yeah.
Let's get the show on the road.
Get the show on the road. Any new pickups for anybody? Mike, we'll start with you. Did you get anything new lately? I like to always start off with that.
Yeah, I thought I had an Iron Man Mark 85 battle damage at my doorstep today, but it turned out to be a Critical Role statue, which I think is a Sideshow property. I don't know. They seem to be very popular. I know nothing about it. I was disappointed. So I'm going to have to call them Monday morning and get that fixed. So
yeah, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. I'm sure they'll take care of it for you.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Brick, what about you, man? You get any new stuff lately?
Yeah, last week I got my Black Panther, the original suit in, and I got Andrew Garfield, as well as the Darkseid Anakin, finally, right? And I got Wonder Woman yesterday, the 84. I didn't get, the crazy, anniversary one, but yeah. Got 84. Excited for that. So, haven't opened her yet, though.
You and Jedi competing for who's going to get the most figures in the shortest amount of time here.
Oh yeah, man. I'm so scared because I have Doc Ock coming, and then I've got all three of those Spider-Mans from the video game, and then of course the Green Goblin's coming out soon. I'm sure. So it's like this year is gonna eat my wallet, but it's all good.
So that you got both the Spider-Man 2, like Miles and Peter, and the symbiote suit.
Yep.
Damn, dude.
I had to, man. That's one of my favorite games. I had to, and I love Spider-Man.
Damn, dude. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. The good thing is one of them got delayed, right? Yeah.
Are the other two supposed to come this year, like the 2.0s?
It still shows. I think from September to December, October to December, something like that. So
nice.
Yeah, we'll see.
Very cool, man. Graham, new figures?
Well, yeah, they say when it rains, it pours. So it's been pouring figures over the last month and a week. And it's starting to slow down because I only got 2 this week. One being the Boba Fett on the throne, which, thanks to Evil Sneaker, is in my collection now. Because when this thing was announced, I was like, yeah, that looks cool. I want to get it. And then we cooled on Boba with all of them coming out, and we cooled on Mando a little bit. Then I saw it in person, and this thing is just a work of art. So I love it. He looks great on the throne, just a masterpiece. But then also, from my friend Dilo the Collector, I got this little girl in today, Jyn Erso from Rogue One. She's a pretty cool figure. This is one that when I started collecting, I thought I'd get into Rogue One, right away, and then it kind of just tried to hone in on the OT, and 3 years later, here she is. So
very nice, man. going down
got
the
the
Rogue
prequels.
One rabbit hole, man. Rogue One's got some awesome figures, man. They're they're one of my favorite groupings for the Star Wars characters for sure. Yeah, I love my Rogue One shelf, but yeah, very cool. Boba on Throne. I've been telling people for a while. I'm jealous you got it at like, I don't know how much you paid for it, but I'm guessing it was under retail.
Yeah, it was under retail. Obviously, I traded in for it, but even the price that they had it listed, I was pretty far under
Still
retail.
under.
So.
Yeah, I'm jealous. But yeah, under retail. It's crazy. It's one of those things I feel like I'm surprised that it's sitting. But congrats. Congrats,
Thank
man.
you.
Very cool piece. Let's address the chat here. We got some folks in here. Good old Spotchka and popcorn ready. I love how he starts his videos. Says, hello, Spotchkaholics. Love it. Austin is here as well. Second. Also, I think Joey, for some reason, sometimes I feel like YouTube, like there's a comment on videos and it goes away. But anyways, I don't know if anybody else commented on here, but I've had that issue in the past. Austin is here.
That
What is up,
happens
dude?
to me.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the comments just disappear throughout the day when people comment on videos. Anyways, TGIF, yes. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. What is up, Cage? Oh, and hit that like button while we wait for the jabronis. Okay. Hello all from Brick on After Ahsoka. Noise. Yes. Who else we got in here? Steve sold off his Boba on Throne. I absolutely did not. That is not my Boba on Throne that went to Graham. Mine is right.
That poor soul.
Mine is right back here up in this case. Wait, there's Fennec sitting right there at the tip of my finger.
Yeah, and Fennec will be next, but I need to wait.
You can wait.
That out.
You can 100% wait. Like, yeah, I should have waited. I should have waited on Fennec, but now that I have her, like, you know, it's fine. I'm fine paying whatever the price I paid for it. But yeah, it's okay.
That went out?
It's okay. What?
Oh shit.
What? Uh-oh. Hello everyone. Peyton, what is up? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you being here. Good old spots. You're saying best Jyn Erso that's released. Yeah. That Jin's really good. The Jyn Erso in Disguise is really good too. Jyn Erso complete win. Yes. That is it. That is it for now. Oh, Spotcha. I misheard Jedi. I heard Evil Sneaker sold me his Boba on Throne. Yes, I definitely did not. With that being said, guys, we had a really, really, really good, great, excellent, amazing Ahsoka episode this week. I'm really excited to talk about this episode. We got a lot of stuff to get through. Let me transition us here over to the screen so we can see this here. Should be able to now. So, like we've done in past shows, I just want to get your guys' kind of general thoughts of the episode. Kind of what your rating is here out of 10. Graham, we will start with you tonight, man. What did you think of this one?
It was really good. Very good, complete episode from start to finish. I think each episode's gotten better for me. So if I remember correctly, now that we're doing this every week, I think the first two was like 7.5 to 8, somewhere in there, and then the third episode I gave like an 8.2, something along those lines. This one I'm gonna give a 9, and there's really only one thing I didn't like. Everything, I mean, lightsaber fights, very entertaining, good story, good acting. The only thing that I disliked was there just wasn't enough Hera. So,
oh my god.
Or else it would have been a 10, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been a 10.
Yep. Here
I'm
we
perfectly
go.
happy with this slide right here.
It's funny. I was talking to Cage earlier today, and he said, "I wonder who the first." He said, "I'm not going to do it, but I wonder who's going to be the first person, either in chat or on the stream, to mention Hera." And Graham wins. Graham wins. There you go. There you go. Yes. There was not a lot of Hera, but I felt like the Hera moments were still pretty good, even though we didn't get a lot of it. But yeah,
No, it's good. I mean, the lightsaber battles were intense, and
I feel like they've done a really good job with making the lightsaber battles in this show, for sure.
and it's not even all just like the action, like, you know, Phantom Menace or even Revenge of the Sith. We're getting all these wild lightsaber battles. This is more like honed in. This is more tamed down, but it still looks really, really good. Really, you know, aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Like, I think, and it's weird because one of my favorite parts of the episode is a couple times this happened, but like, you know, Mike is talking about how Ahsoka is kind of blah or bland so far, boring.
Mm-hmm.
But we're seeing some emotion in her right now, like in these battles, and like I really liked it. Like when she lights up her lightsaber, she's just got that look when she's looking at Balin, and then when she's got the saber and they're like connecting blades, and you can see the light hitting her face. It's something about those scenes really was intense and really just brought me into the show, and I really enjoyed. So, like little things like that is what this episode just really hit on for me.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, dude. I agree. Brick, the guest.
Oh, man.
What did you think, man? What did you think of this one?
Man, you know, I wasn't able to be in the previous episodes, but I would have to say definitely my favorite episode so far.
Yeah.
I would say first one's probably about an 8, second is probably a 7, and then I would say the third is also an 8, and this one I'd give a 9, just like Graham. So I'm gonna say 9 for this. There's only one thing I didn't like about the episode, even though it was kind of like the best thing about the episode, and was the ending. And that was I feel like the de-aging could have been slightly better. And sure, more Hera, you know, but definitely a 9. There's always room for improvement, and I have a feeling next week, or I guess next week's episode is going to be the first 10 out of 10. So
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, just everything you're hearing and how it's, you know, ended this episode, I'm excited.
Brick, do you want to tell the people what you've seen as far as your like Star Wars content goes real quick too?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen all the movies, of course, and I am about midway through season 2 of Rebels, and I have seen clips here and there of Clone Wars. So I have not seen Andor, and
guys are missing
pretty
out.
much it.
Gosh, go watch Andor.
Yeah, I know. I really want to watch it, but I want to finish off Ahsoka first and Rebels, and then I'll probably go to Andor.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or else I'm just never going to finish Rebels.
Fair enough. No, that's a good idea too, because we know Andor season 2 is probably coming next year.
Oh, nice.
You'll have plenty of time. Cool, man. Mike, what about you, dude? What'd you think of this one?
I'm gonna give it a 9 too. You know, I know a lot of people were going 10s across the board right after it aired, and I totally respect that, but I want to reserve that extra point for. Listen, man, I think I have high hopes for the next episode and for the rest of the season. So yeah, and there were like a few things that could knock it off a point. So 9, but that's my highest score so far.
Yeah,
and I was really happy with it. Quick question, Brick. You said you're halfway through Rebels?
Halfway through season 2.
Oh, halfway through season 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know
sure
a
almost
lot of
halfway
things
through
that
the show.
Yeah, pretty much, because 4 seasons, right?
Yep.
And season 4 is shorter, like season 1. So
okay.
Yeah,
I know.
So,
I know a lot that happens, but I still want to see it. You know.
The reason why I asked that is because, and we'll get to this point, but obviously what happens at the end is something that if you had seen season 4 of Rebels, you would have recognized. And well, you may have seen clips on YouTube or whatever, or I don't know, but we'll get into it. But
Brick knows about World Between Worlds.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I'm always
Somewhat.
curious
A little bit.
how people who haven't seen it versus people who have seen it relate to this show. So that's why I wanted to ask it again.
Yeah,
I loved it.
We're gonna get.
We'll talk all the details as we go.
Yeah, I just want to give a couple shout outs to people in the chat here. Frogman, Andor is a masterpiece. I agree. What is up, Frogman? Appreciate you being here. D-Lo, the collector. Well. Look who we have on the panel this week. A couple members of the Wolf Pack. D-Lo, thank you for tuning in, bro. Whoa, 2 sweets. I don't know. I don't know if those are allowed on my channel or not.
Those travel well.
those travel well. Danny says, only problem with watching Andor is you can't collect any hot toys from it. Yeah, that does suck. With that being said, the episode for me, this is a 10 out of 10 episode for me. I loved every single thing about this episode. I won't really get too much into my thoughts on it because we'll break it down as we go here. But yeah, I was like, especially the ending, man. Yeah, I'm just really glad we're halfway through. There's 8 episodes. We have 4 more to go. There's still a lot of stuff to get through, but the next episode with Filoni coming up is going to be, well, we're going to just see some really good stuff next episode. But I just want to tell you guys too, I did Graham and Brick. I told you guys, Mike, I don't know if you know, they came out with this like Master and Apprentice little like 7-minute video on Disney Plus. It's like a behind the scenes like Ahsoka thing where they're like interviewing people and stuff. And one thing I wanted to mention is it talks about like Filoni was like, he talks about it kind of being like when he was making the transition into live action, when he did the Ahsoka episode from Mandalorian, where he was kind of just like, I just got to do it. Like, I just got to try to do it, because he hadn't done really any live action stuff. And I thought that was like a really interesting point from him talking about that, because he was basically like, well, I just got to basically take a chance on it and see how it goes, me doing that episode, like me doing the episode, because he hasn't really done any live action. So hopefully he nails the next one. And I think he will, but it's good. It's like 7.5 minutes or something. It's 100% worth watching. It's really short. So this episode was an Evil Sneaker dream episode. Yeah, loved it. Basketball Kid, what is up, dude? Appreciate you tuning in, man. Agreed, doesn't get more perfect than this. Lady Evil Sneakers in the house. You couldn't stop talking about how much you like this episode. Yes, loved it. With that being said, guys, let's start talking about this here. We can kind of start. I don't know how much we want to talk about, like, so much at the beginning. I felt like for me, like, one of the most interesting parts in this beginning part was, like, you know, Ahsoka asking Sabine, you know, can I count on you, basically, was like the main part of this scene. And then they get in like this, you know, cool droid battle and stuff like that. Do you guys have any thoughts about kind of how this episode opened up here? Anybody can kind of chime in here.
It was kind of funny how, like, they're on the ship and the droid is getting his ass kicked. He's getting pushed into the ship, and they're like,
"Oh yeah, help, man!"
They don't notice
help,
anything,
help.
And then the lights go out, and they're like, "Oh, what did he do out there now?" And that part was kind of like comical, but like,
yeah. And Ahsoka's like, he wouldn't do that.
And then right away, they're just lightsabers blaring,
Yep.
and just go right into it. That was, you know, it was a little rushed, but whatever, it was fine. But no, it was good. It was. I just liked how, and it was like foreshadowing too when they're going, and then he's like, you know, make sure you stick together, and they don't. So then problems occur, and you know, Sabine is captured and kind of almost twisted a little bit, maybe, or tricked. I'll say tricked. So yeah, things kind of go awry from there.
Yeah. Brick or Mike, you guys want to chime in about this part?
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to say, like, I thought it was so cool. I was really rooting for Huyang to have some fighting skills. So it was great to see him hold his own.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either. And it's just so cool. And I hope if we do get that figure, that we get a working, like, back extra arm contraption thing. I hope they go all the way with that. That would be really sweet, you know, if they get that deep into the line. But it just made me fall in love with him even more so as a character. And this goes to another, like, Star Wars strength. I mean, the fact that they can take a tin can like R2-D2 and make him feel like a lovable, even BB-8, like essentially a ball. And then, so obviously this guy's more anthropomorphized, but like, your heart breaks for him watching him almost lose a fight and getting his mouth covered and all that. So it's just so cool what a rich character they've been able to create with him in live action.
Yeah. I agree, and like in a short period of time, I feel like they made him like an important, likable character.
Totally,
for sure.
Totally.
Yeah, I thought like this, like, I thought the battle there was really cool, and I also I like this interaction with, and this was like before like this, I guess, this part where it names the Jedi or the episode Fallen Jedi, but this show is just like Balin is the dude for me. I'd like he's my probably favorite character right now in the show. He's just killing it.
We need him as a figure.
Yes, he is so great, man. I hope they do it. Yeah, I hope they do a figure.
I hope they honor his passing by releasing a figure and not shy from releasing a figure because of his passing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to, since he has passed? And
I think it depends on like his estate and stuff, and like what they would allow to happen. It's interesting to see, you know, what would happen for that. But
yeah, it's only been a couple months, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. Like,
time.
I don't think we've seen a Black Series release or announcement or anything yet. So right now we don't have any media with him.
Right.
So, I mean, outside of the show.
But yeah, I love just like in every episode. I feel like with him, they've been hinting at kind of like how he is being a Jedi that survived, and like how he says, I forget exactly what he says here, but she says like, is that like hesitation I hear, or is that like fear that I hear in your voice? And he said, no, it's just experience. Isn't that what he says? Yeah.
Yep, experience.
So he just like knows that those droids going there to hold them off is not going to last long. He already knows that it's really not going to make a big difference. And that they're not going to stop him, but then he says Shin's going to stop them, right? Let me move forward here because, this is a part that you were talking about, Graham, when basically they were like, he wouldn't do that. And then he's
getting like slammed into the ship.
Yeah, he's getting slammed into the ship. And then I love like, basically like, I'm trying to find the part, but it's somewhere right in here when basically Ahsoka lights up her lightsabers before she even walks out of the ship.
Yeah.
I thought that was was funny.
Great. This is an interesting moment too, showing her lack of not lack of experience, but lack of recent experience with as far as Sabine's concerned. She's having trouble loading her blaster, and I think it was a cool kind of character setup for her. She's a little rusty.
Yep, for sure. Then we have like this cool battle, which I thought this was fine. I thought like the lightsaber stuff was cool. I thought this battle when they like just destroyed these droids was cool. I don't know if you guys have much to say about this part.
Is it one of the first droid battles we've seen?
As far as like them, like in the show, I
can't recall ever seeing two droids just going.
Oh yeah.
Ham on each other. It was like a
it's happened in Clone
between
Wars.
droids.
Actually,
we lost Mike.
No.
Mike. That's okay. I want to get to a couple comments in the chat here. Bones is in the house. Peak Star Wars. I'm glad he's saying that. Like, I hope more people are feeling like that too. You're back. You're back.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
So it's happened in animation, and I don't know if Sneaker, you remember that, but there was like a droid that they were kind of like working with, and it went rogue, and then
that droid ends up going rogue.
But live action, I don't think we ever.
I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. Hu Yang, like, help me. Help.
Yeah, it was great.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was good.
The only other thing I'll say though is like, see how she's fighting with two sabers here, and then so this is just like a thing I want to say about this episode in general, is that I am super into like lightsaber form and switching and analyzing the opponent and watching them both switch based on what the other person's doing. And there was so much of that lore in this episode. So like here she's using her double bladed style because she's got blasters firing at her. She's got multiple enemies. And then later on in the episode, she only fights with one blade. And like all of that serves the story and serves the lore. It's just really great.
Yeah. I thought that was really good too, like later in the episode, because like she has to try to grab the map, so like she's 100%, going one-handed. But I thought that was really cool too, and just how they set up her fighting style and everything. I think they did a really good job with that as well. I also really like in this part where she pulls pulls one of them right in front of the other guy to get shot. And then the other guy runs up, and then she just slices him. Yeah, I thought that was
kind of reminded me of some wrestling moves. When you like hit off the ropes, and then somebody kind of knocks you. What is that? What is that called? When you hit like right over their arm, the
clothesline?
Like a clothesline. Yeah, like somebody. Yeah, but with a lightsaber.
Lightsaber clothesline. Yeah.
So like they were kind of going back and forth with each other.
Yeah,
that was cool.
I agree.
But in general, lightsabers are back, proper. Like they're not.
This
like
is a cool
bats,
still. Yeah, this is a cool still right here. Like this going like right through this
totally
thing's neck right here.
I feel like they didn't want to overdo it in the past with lightsabers, so it was kind of few and far in between when you actually got like a lightsaber battle. But here, I feel like we're getting multiple battles, in each episode, and I think they're doing it right. And who doesn't love a good lightsaber battle? So it's really good to see. And Mike, you mentioned it, how she's like changing her approach depending on her enemy. And I noticed that too, but it didn't really click with me until you said it. But like she was a total different fighter from this fight to against Balin. So
Yep.
But yeah, that was
And
really cool.
Marak as well. She does a different
Yeah.
form there
Yeah.
when she realizes what he's about to do. So
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
cool
short,
stuff. And
but that was good too.
That was
yeah,
really
very
good.
Filoni, very Filoni.
Very
Yeah.
Filoni,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
So then we get basically Hera talking to this guy, and she said, I'm gonna go. I'm basically gonna go do this. She's already been talking. She's gonna do it because even if nobody's supporting her, this is what's been happening in Rebels, basically. She's gonna go and help them regardless of what people say. And obviously, like we know by the end of the episode, that's something that, like, this is gonna be interesting to see how this plays out from her perspective, where obviously at the end, kind of jumping ahead, but we know what happens where like a few X-Wings go down. Like that's obviously gonna be a problem when she goes rogue. And but anyways, we get this little thing, then she goes, and I thought this was like, finally we see the ghost, right? I thought that was really cool. I'm trying to find, like, I thought this shot, like this was, I'm trying to see it, trying to get it to
By the way, that human in the cockpit right there, you know who he is?
The dude that plays the stunt for
Yeah.
Trying to get this, like,
Stunt double for not stunt double, but the performer.
for the Mandalorian. Yeah, I thought that's so cool how they put him in, put him in this show for sure. This is the one. This I thought was so cool. I thought seeing the X-Wings with like surrounding the sound effects too. Oh, so cool.
When they all like disappeared, the sound effects were awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was anyone else like a little uncomfortable that she's bringing her son along? I was like, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, it's interesting. I'm kind of like, that's a good point. I didn't really think about that. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that she would bring him along on this. Like, what made her decide that, and what's the dynamic there? That would, like, has she done this in the past with? Oh, I guess she, like, from what we saw in Rebels, but it's not to like, this is like a significant thing that she's going to go do, and he's coming with her. So I don't know.
Yeah, like story wise, I think it would have worked better if they were just on like a joyride, so to speak, and she gets a distress call and she looks at him. She's like, I don't have time to bring you back. And now she's like in a war zone with her son. And how does that tear up a mom to, rather than just like, come along, we're going to go fight the deadliest enemy in the galaxy.
You'll have some fun.
Yeah.
All CPS.
Yeah.
And then we get more of like this where they put the map down. This like Balin's just so good. And then I think like, I really like the scenery that they have with the map. I feel like everything that's been set up as far as, this is why I really like the first two episodes where they really set everything up well. And like, they've just done such a good job getting to the point that they've gotten to in my opinion. And like, I think this is so cool. They're on this one planet. They have this spot that they had to go to get this map to work. I also really liked how basically then like we get this slow ticker of them getting like the coordinates, like that's kind of going slow. And then we get all this action while they're trying to get the coordinates.
Yeah, he learned from old school Star Wars. Like originally that shot of the Death Star going around the moon wasn't in the film. And so people felt like they didn't have an understanding of the time crunch. So like he's using that same system here to give the audience.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I really like that. I don't know if you guys have much else to say about that, but this is when we get, sorry, go ahead, Brick.
Oh no, before we get too far, did you guys notice Freddie Prinze Jr.'s picture there in the cockpit?
Yeah, I didn't notice it during the episode. I didn't notice it during the episode. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to like, here, you know what? I might be able to, let me see if I can go back and like, I don't know if you can see it right here or not. It's like a very brief moment where you can see it.
So it makes you wonder, is he going to make an appearance at all?
You can't
I am
see
shocked.
It. But yeah, it's in here, and it's really, really like it's a split second.
Basically like a frame.
Yeah, it's a frame.
She has like a photo up in the front there, kind of like you would in a car.
I want Kanan to come back so bad. Man. I don't care if it's Freddie or anybody. I just want him to be in live action.
It would be really cool to see, something with him.
Yeah, because he voiced him in the show too, right?
He did, and then he lent his voice to, I think he's actually in Rise of Skywalker as a voice.
Wow. Like you're talking about at the end with Rey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But But Freddie Prinze Jr., he's an interesting individual, and he's like, I'm done with Lucasfilm. Like, I'm done doing favors for them. I was like, I don't know, dude. Maybe you should.
I feel
consider.
like maybe if they, yeah. Good,
so
good spot.
hey,
maybe Kanan image.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good call.
Yeah, it's in there. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it on the internet after the episode.
Yeah, I didn't see it during the episode. I'm with you.
Yep. But then we get into like, this is, I feel like, when everything really starts to pick up, is like this moment when they get into, the forest, and she's like, you going somewhere? And like, I think her character is just really badass too, obviously.
Love her.
Yeah, and then this is just like, they've been setting up like these amazing shots. I'm trying to find like this really cool one where it's like, I don't want to play too much. Like when you get to these, like when it shows like the distant shots of them like dueling, I feel like it's just looks so cool.
Yeah, like we said, for each and every week so far, the cinematography is just a masterpiece, and I think that goes a long way. And I think especially for the lightsaber battles, like just the imagery we're getting. But even when Shin Hati, like, you see the back of her when they're running up, and then all of a sudden, you see the front of her, and she quickly removes it. Like just the small stuff that they're doing with that is just, it's intense, and it adds so much to each and every episode. So it's just, it's so much fun to watch. Like this is just part of it. Yeah, just how it pans back.
Scrubbing. Yeah, he's like scrubbing through the episode, and no matter where he stops, it's a poster.
It's all
Like that's
it looks so good. That's a really good way to put it. Like it just looks, everywhere you stop, there's a shot that looks like it just looks really good. Also, they made like, I feel like them having the red leaves, it was just such a great choice too on this planet. Like you have the red leaves, and like it's dark. It just looks really, really cool.
This episode to me was kind of like the end of a video game, where like you had you were fighting, the bad guys there at the beginning, and then all of a sudden you get to this boss battle, and there's another boss battle at the end, and it's like how they appear out of nowhere kind of thing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it was dark, but it wasn't too dark where you couldn't see anything like Game of Thrones or anything like that. Like it was dark, and the lightsabers really lit things up, and you could still see what was happening.
Yeah. And you know what? The lightsabers lit things up, but they weren't like flashlights. Like that was one thing that bothered me about Kenobi. It's like, I have a blue lightsaber, so the whole room is blue.
Right.
And so I thought they struck a great balance with that.
Yep, 100%. Beskar Kid says, don't forget Captain Carson Teva's appearance. Yeah, I love Carson Teva, dude. He's such a cool character, and he's a really cool dude. He has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he does. Such a down-to-earth guy.
Yep.
He's
a really cool dude. Like I've seen a few different YouTube things with him on. He's just, he's such a cool dude. But
he was showing off a mini bust of him as the character, and it was like a kid. It was like a kid in a good way. He was super into it.
Yeah, that's cool. I think Beskar Kid. Actually, I'm pretty sure like he met him in person. Beskar Kid can give us a little more info in the chat. And I'm pretty sure he gave him like, I remember seeing a video Beskar Kid posted about like giving him like those black nitrile gloves because he always uses those in his unboxings. And it was like a joke, funny thing. But Beskar Kid, you can chime in the chat about that. He says, woke up and saw he followed me today. Nice. Yeah, he's a cool dude in the community, and like he does unboxing stuff. I think he just did like an unboxing of an Ahsoka Hot Toys figure. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, I thought like this whole sequence with them fighting out. Ooh, that's kind of a crazy photo, but this whole sequence of them fighting was, I thought, like this is the picture I was talking about where they're zoomed out and then it shows them like from a distance, like in this duel. I thought that was so cool. And how they're just really taking their time, like setting up what moves they're going to do and stuff like that. Let's talk about maybe Marok, and talk about, obviously, the theories surrounding Marok are no more. Spotchka put up a question here. How did we feel about Marok theories getting thrown out the window? There was a lot of theories. And they made sense too. Like there was a lot of backing, I feel like, for some of these theories where like it would make sense. You guys have thoughts on this? Jedi, we'll start with you. You want to talk about this? Thoughts about
at
it?
first I was a little bit let down because I think I let a lot of the theories get in my head, and we kind of run wild with that stuff when we start getting excited about different theories that could be, and sometimes it just happens where it's a simple answer. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Merrick was basically just black magic from the witch, right?
Yeah, like that's the thought. That's like it's speculation, but it appears that like with the green smoke that there's like Night Sister magic, and like was he somebody that was like brought back who was already dead using Night Sister magic that was turned into an Inquisitor? That's what it looks like.
So I heard that, and that made sense, and I was like, okay, because at first I was like, oh, really? Like just nothing, like another character like Snoke or something, where what are the origins going to be? And then before we even get into it, they're gone. But I was okay with it because I'm like, okay, so it was like just showing off kind of some of her abilities and the magic she can do. But then when he gets struck down, Shin Hati is actually very upset about it. So to me, I'm wondering if there's more behind it. Like he had to be something to her for her to have that.
She almost seems scared.
Yeah, she was scared, but angry too. So I don't know. You guys can chime in, but I thought the Inquisitor lightsaber was just awesome because all of a sudden it just goes faster, and
wait till you see what happens.
Looking at it,
wait till you see what happens when you keep watching Rebels.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get that for a second.
Like a helicopter.
Yeah, they basically like fly with their lightsabers.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Sorry,
but I don't know if you guys on the panel have other thoughts on Merrick and whatnot.
Brick, do you have thoughts on this one?
No, I was just the only thing that bothered me a little bit was how fast, he kind of went. I think the final blow was awesome right here, but kind of wish we would have gotten a little more info. We're still coming up with theories like what to Shen, what was this character to her, was it, and not only that, but if it's black magic, are they going to be able to make more versions, more at the same time? Or is it, like you said, somebody who was once, part of, what would you say, the night magic? Or
it's like basically like Night Sister. This is like
so
hinting that that's what it's from. And we know that Morgan Elsbeth is basically one of the
Night Sisters,
surviving Night Sisters, which is rare for somebody to be around. Like I was saying, I think in past episodes, like
more rare than a Jedi, right? Like you said?
Like there are not a lot of Night Sisters left. So I feel like, sorry, go ahead. You can keep going, Brick. Kind of what you're.
No, I just it still kind of leaves it up to speculation, because of all the theories and all the excitement that we kind of brought upon ourselves, and all of a sudden just boom, gone. So it kind of makes you wonder, can it reappear? Can it just, or is it completely gone for good?
Yeah. Beskar Kid says watch Massacre in the Clone Wars. Yeah, Clone Wars has a lot of Night Sister stuff in it. That's why that's why I say Clone Wars, and like Clone Wars has so much Night Sister stuff, and with especially like Asajj Ventress, and then you get into Dathomir, and you get into Darth Maul, and Savage Opress, who's an amazing character. Oh my gosh, if there's one Hot Toys figure that I want, it's like he's up there of somebody who would just make such a cool figure. But he dies in a similar fashion. Sorry, spoiler alert. But he has this green smoke emerge from him, very similar to Marok, and so it'll be interesting to see. It makes sense, Graham. I was kind of like you, and like basically like part of me wanted him to be like a bigger character, part of like something bigger,
right?
But then when you see that if this is truly what it is, and that this is Night Sister, like Night Sister magic, and that's truly what it is, and it's related to Morgan Elsbeth, to me that makes sense for what they're doing with her being a Night Sister. Like that it makes sense for the show. So I'm fine with it. I thought it was, he died, but it'll be interesting to see what else happens with Morgan Elsbeth, because I doubt this is the last we see of this Night Sister stuff. Mike, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Well, you guys touched on a lot of it. I just want to say, there are times when the writers owe the audience an explanation of who a mysterious character is, because the story they've created demands it. Snoke is a perfect example of that. the audience was ripped off because they never had a plan. They didn't know who Snoke was. So they screwed the audience. So it's not the audience's fault for being annoyed by that. If you're annoyed by this or let down by this, it's in this case, they didn't tease that he was anyone special or anything other than just a henchman. So I'm okay with it. Yeah, it would have been cool if it was some deeper, and maybe there will be something deeper. But this isn't something we haven't seen. So if you've seen Tales of the Jedi, the unnamed Inquisitor that Ahsoka kills in
absolutely destroys
destroys him, and in such a cool way, he goes up in smoke as well. So it's cool and it's consistent with what we've seen before, and that's a cool looking character, and that might be all we get. That's okay.
Yeah, I think it's intriguing too how you said, like, do we get more story of that? Like, is Merrick going to be something that we like? Is he potentially something we're going to see again, or are we going to get some backstory on, like, who he really was? It's interesting, but again, like, I don't think it's
ancillary
really
material.
Yeah, and that would be fine with me. I don't really think he's a main, like, has to be a main focus of the show, for sure.
Right. The audience needs to learn who all these other characters are, including Thrawn, because this might be most people's first introduction.
Exactly. Like, there's more important stuff to get to. There's some people in the chat here I want to just get to real quick. Brian Wong, Mr. Maju Case himself, Yo-Yos. What is up, Brian? Thank you for tuning into the show, man. Happy to have you here. Doc Bat, sup, gents? What is up, man? Thank you for watching. Dilo says he dies. Spoiler alert. And Bones also says it shouldn't be a spoiler alert if it's out over 10 years ago. That's a good point. But I feel bad because I know you guys are watching through Rebels, and I don't want to. I want you to enjoy it without having to get spoiled on a bunch of stuff.
Exactly.
It is your fault. But that's okay.
Ultimately, though, nothing's a spoiler because in Star Wars, you can always come back.
Yeah.
So.
Unless you're Qui-Gon. Then you're really dead.
Yeah, unless you're Qui-Gon.
Yeah. Good old Spotchka says, was the audience ripped off or just let down because the character design was so damn cool we wanted it to be someone cool? I don't really think necessarily that we were ripped off. I don't feel that way.
No.
I don't feel that way. I'm fine with what they did. And it's interesting too because I think going into, you see the trailer and you see that this duel is taking place with Sabine and Shin and then Ahsoka and Merrick. Like, something had to give. That's another point. If, like, you really look back at what we were already shown, this is something that, like, he was probably, like, he was destined to die, I guess, in this scene. Best Kid says somehow Morak has returned. Nick's Collectibles in the house. What is up, Nick? Why do the coolest looking characters in Star Wars always have to die a lame death? Yeah, fair enough. Because that does happen sometimes. But yeah, nevertheless, also this moment, this was like a reflection of what happens, and this is like a Twin Sons type moment, right? I thought that was just like a cool callback to Twin Sons.
That's what I was referencing before.
Yeah, which is one of, like, Graham and Brick. I don't know how much you guys know about that episode with, like, it's an episode with I don't know. I don't know how much spoiler territory I should get into, but
it's one of the greatest moments of Star Wars.
It's just such a cool, it's a lightsaber battle that, it's like a kind of it seemed like a callback like that to me. But yeah, I thought it was cool. And then obviously he disappears. And then I want to talk about a moment with this fight. Obviously, I don't know if I'm able to find it. Like, I don't know if I'm able to find it directly, but I just want to talk about, like, where this, like, force push happens with Sabine, and, like, do you guys think whether or not it was, like, did she actually use a little bit of the force in this situation? Mike, I want to start with you on this one, because I know you had a lot to say in past episodes about what you thought about Sabine as a force user. We talked about it. So what are your thoughts on kind of like the push that she attempted?
Yeah, so you're talking about, like, at the end of the fight when she was...
Yeah, like where she does, like, where, like, Shin, like, pulls her shoulder back, and then she throws and then she says, like, you have no power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought I was on the edge of my seat because I was like, please no. And they totally faked me out. It was wonderful. And also, my larger criticism of that fight is that like she's a Mandalorian. I wanted to see some whistling birds, some other Mandalorian tactics, maybe a shield to block the saber. You don't realize she has the shield in her gauntlet, and all of a sudden she blocks the saber with it. I just want to see some more Mandalorian from her. We don't have the jetpack, okay, but yeah, rather than just relying on her lightsaber skills, which it's one thing that's kind of frustrated me is like I don't think she should be that good with a lightsaber against a very well trained, even if she's a Padawan. Shin, even if Shin is a Padawan, like I think Shin should be able to kick her ass with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to see more Mandalorian tactics and that Jedi on Mandalorian stuff. I was hoping to get more of that, but I'm glad we got something at the end. That was really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool the way they ended it, where like they ended it in a good way of like nobody died, and I thought it was a fair way of them ending the fight.
There were two moments though in the middle of where they both like stop. They're looking over. I'm like, kill her now!
Yeah.
We're just like standing there looking at Ahsoka. I was like, just go.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both looking over. Yeah. Brick, you want to give your thoughts on this part?
I read Beskar's comment here, and I don't want to take it from him, but I was thinking the same thing. I think it was definitely attempt to one. I think she's not quite there, but there's something in her that she's got some power there, but not to the point where she can like get thrown 10 feet back or anything like that. But yeah, with Mike here, I kind of wish that she would have just like poked her in the face and just done. But no, what a cool scene. And I love how that was like her way of Shin's way of being like, okay, I got to get the hell out of here now. It's 2 against 1. And then she got away, and yeah. But yeah, I think she's I do think that Shin should kick her butt really easily. But I mean, it makes the show fun, more entertaining when you got these lightsaber battles, or duels. So I mean, you got to choose your poison here.
A lot of lightsaber battles in the first couple episodes. I am digging that for sure. Graham, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I agree with what the boys are saying. I agree that Shin Hati should have probably kicked her ass pretty quickly, and I don't think. I mean, I believe it was a attempted force push as well, but I don't think anything came of it. I think she was bracing for it, and then realized nothing happened, and then said, you have no power because nothing happened. And
interesting. Yeah,
Mike's not gonna like this, but
oh boy,
Sabine's kind of like my least favorite character so far.
Ooh, we got some heat.
Wow.
I'll see you guys later.
See you, Mike.
I'm with you, Mike.
I'm sure her arc will change because they're probably they're going to change. I'm guessing she will have force abilities by the end of this and everything, but she's making all the stupid moves. She's doing everything she shouldn't do so far. She's kind of like, woe is me, whimpering, like, oh, I don't have the power or whatever happened to her.
She
like,
lost Ezra, man.
I get it, but like still, like she's costing the rebels like so much right now. And, then getting turned so easily or tricked so easily. And then, yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Rey, like no training and just kind of can do anything that a Jedi can do. This isn't to that extent by any means, but like being able to use a lightsaber and wield a lightsaber should take a lot of training and talent. So, I don't know. It's not that I really dislike her character, but she's my least favorite so far. She doesn't bring a whole lot of excitement to me because I'm like, oh, what's the next pain in the ass thing she's going to do to cost, the good guys. So
it's so funny to hear you say that because it's like welcome to the Filoni-verse. So that is what Ezra does in almost every episode in the earlier seasons. Omega and Bad Batch, like there's always this character that screws things up in every episode, and there's never a penalty for it. There's never like any chastisement from other.
I mean,
like, well, that happened. Let's move on.
And she seems a lot different than in Rebels, the animated series. And again, I'm only in season 1, but it seems like a totally different character. So I'm wondering what has happened. I mean, again, I know she lost Ezra, but what has happened to her that she's like, I don't know, like She seems like the weakest link, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe her arc will change.
No. Yeah, there's a lot of missing pieces. Like she lost her family, and none of us know exactly how. Was it in the skirt or Night of a Thousand Tears on Mandalore? Like, what role did Ahsoka have in that? Because as we'll get to that point later with Balin, but yeah, there's a lot going on, and also in Rebels, and I don't know, Sneaker, maybe you feel this way or not, but like they were friends and stuff. But when he's like, "You have no family," like, dude, she was closer with Chopper than she was with Rebels and with Ezra in that show. So like she's got, she has Hera, she has
she has like that inner circle, right?
She
like
has that
family
core here.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like coming from a Rebels point of view, they're making more of this like need to find Ezra in a way as her emotional core than I felt at the end of Rebels. I didn't feel that was there. But that's okay. We needed that emotional core for the show to work, I think.
Yeah. I think that's like, I think from my perspective, what I think of Sabine is, and Ahsoka, I think both of them right now are both battling with their emotions, because Sabine lost Ezra. They're really like working that in these episodes as far as how down she is about losing Ezra. And like that really has her conflicted and emotional. And that's obviously why she makes a decision that she makes in the end to give away the map, which we'll talk about.
It's almost depression, Yeah,
she's like really, really like, if there's a way she can get Ezra back, and it's been years, right? If there's a way she's going to get Ezra back, like she's probably going to try to do that. If there's any hope for her to find Ezra. And then Ahsoka on the other, sorry, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead if you want to.
Oh, no, one quick thing I was going to say about that is like, you're making me think about more of the characters. So, they were in a war together, right? And it seems like everyone else, like Zeb is now, we've seen him, he's off like fighting, doing what he's doing. From what we saw in, what was it? Where do we see Zeb again now? Mando 3, season 3?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like you have Hera, who is a big deal general, and she has a son now, so maybe she's distracted. So Ezra is frozen in time in her mind. So Ezra hasn't gone off and made other friends or created another life. So he's her last connection to that like unit that they had. So yeah, I'm kind of like writing the story in my head, like filling those gaps, and you can make sense of it. If that makes sense. What I just said makes sense. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Kate says we already know Jedi's bias. I'm just gonna call this meme the Hera. Or not this meme, this emoji the Hera.
How come everybody likes fruit all of a sudden?
He does it again. He does it again. But yeah, so I think that's part of it. And I think what's going to happen too is I think we're going to see, we've talked about like kind of the stoicism and like the tone of Ahsoka's mannerisms throughout the first few episodes. I think we're probably going to get a change once we see what happens with her with this next episode. Because obviously there's shit that she has not processed emotionally when it comes to when she left the Jedi Order, everything that happened with her and Anakin. You can tell that that's still weighing on her, right? So I think her and Sabine both, there's that aspect at play here in these first few episodes, especially this episode, where they're, and I think like that was kind of a theme of the episode too, where you get, at the end, obviously we get the big reveal, but like you get Sabine who gives up the map because she really like emotionally is connected to Ezra and wants to see Ezra again. And then what do we get with Ahsoka? We get her potentially hashing things out with Anakin, right? So I think like that is a big kind of theme of this episode with both of them. They need to work some shit out, basically, is kind of what I'm thinking. And hopefully that's why I say I think we're going to see a change in Ahsoka after she, I guess next episode we'll talk about predictions, but what's going to happen with like her, the conversation she's going to have with Anakin, who Anakin's going to be. But that's kind of where I'm at with those two. I think this was a forced push. Like we heard the noise, right? So it's like you hear the noise. But then, like, I actually really like Shin's reply of saying, like, you have no power. I thought that was really cool, like, her response. But, yeah. So it's kind of like, I thought that was cool. And I know we didn't talk about it yet, but, like, this fight between Ahsoka and Balin is just, like, that's got to be up there as a top lightsaber battle. Like, this was so good. So good. Balin with going like what this reminded me right when I saw it. It reminded me of like I don't know. Graham and Brick, did you guys play Jedi Survivor?
No.
Mike, did you play, or do you play? I don't know if you game or not, but did you play Jedi Survivor at all?
Yeah.
This reminded me of like the cross guard stance where you can do like the really like powerful strikes and stuff like that. Like Balin reminded me of like cross guard combat where he's just like going crazy with these like with these moves. Yeah. Spotch says Balin using two Balin using two hands, he's scared fighting Ahsoka. But yeah, this lightsaber battle was just so good. And again, kind of like I talked about with like the map is sitting there and they're getting the coordinates, like all this is happening while the map is like generating the coordinates, so it's just building the entire episode. I thought this lightsaber battle was so good. I don't know if you guys
cinematography was just awesome.
If you guys want to add anything into this part.
It's beautiful. It was and that's probably why the Merrick fight was shorter, because they were saving it, you know, for the main event, if you will. So it was good. And I think just Balin kind of antagonizing Ahsoka the whole way through too, just getting under her skin, and it's what the he's not a Sith. What is he considered? Because he's not Sith.
We don't really and it's interesting they say like Lord Balin too, so I thought that was really interesting. I guess like there's still some mystery surrounding him right now, which is why
I guess I'd like to know more about him. Like, is he trained to be a Sith, 100%. Or is he just something else entirely? I know because his lightsaber's that orange, he's, you know, that it's another indication he's not a Sith as well. But I mean, he's older, so like he was around when Anakin was around. He was a Jedi at the time. So I'm just interested to know what's going on with him. What's his story?
Yep.
Oh yeah. This is I think the only time. It's like one of the reasons she switches to single blade combat is because he's so big and strong, and she's kind of analyzing his abilities. So if you go back, again, I don't want to spoil things for people, but I'm not even going to say it. But anyway, she kind of like learned a lesson from another like very serious fight that she had in Rebels, and because he's a two-handed, I forget what it's called, Form 5, I think. But he's a two-handed wielder, and he just like smashes, which was so cool. She wouldn't have the strength with two hands, you know,
right,
to do that. So she's got that one larger saber where she can really defend him. So it's more of a defending fighting style. So it was cool because I'm sure a lot of us were like, why doesn't she fight? She's got two, use two. But it's smarter to use one against him. So I just like all that.
So is that one reason why she has one lightsaber that's bigger and one lightsaber that's smaller?
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, and there's a name for I mean, I actually think the names come from Japanese sword fighting. They're like imported into the Star Wars kind of sections. But yeah, I forget all the details on that one, so I don't want to screw it up. But yeah, so she can use two or she can use one, and there's always like different fighting styles. And you see it here. Like, I love that silence when they're just like going like that and just eyeing each other up and changing their stances.
Thought it was so good. Yeah. The way they set up the fights.
And then he's like, how inevitable. Like, it was just cool too.
Yeah,
like
he's like pulls his lightsaber off the belt clip and stuff. I just thought like it was just so badass.
Yeah.
And what he's saying to her, I know we didn't talk too much about that, of what he's saying to her, but again, it's like unpacked baggage from Ahsoka of, you know, the disconnect between her and Sabine and why that happened, and like they're kind of like hinting at stuff like that. Like that moment's probably going to have to be hashed out at some point between Ahsoka and Sabine, right? Like they're going to have a conversation about that at some point. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and he's just like the conversation with her of like, and then Ahsoka's like, I'm not here to talk about my past, right? To me, that's kind of like she obviously doesn't want to talk about it, but she hasn't talked about it. She hasn't really talked about it with anybody, because I'm sure she's mad about what has happened and obviously what Anakin became. But yeah, there's, like I said, a lot of unpacked baggage there. I thought that was interesting. And he's trying to, like, Balin is trying to take advantage of it. And then he does the same thing to Sabine, where he takes advantage of it, right? He's just taking it. He's like, you know, playing really smart and he's basically taking advantage of their emotional states to get, you know, kind of like what he wants essentially. And it works, right? He strikes Ahsoka down, she falls into the water, he gets the map, so it's working for him. I thought I love how
he's like Ahsoka's like, well, it's funny, he never mentioned you. It's kind of like, well, you guys were the popular kids, and everyone knew who you were. Everyone knew who Anakin and Ahsoka were. You know,
Yep.
if you're Anakin's apprentice, we know who you are. But yeah, you might not know who we are.
Yeah.
But I was there, and I know all about your relationship. Like, that's really cool. Like, one character knows everything about the other. The other character's a mystery to the other one. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is a good point by Beskar Kitty. Said she knows there's a time crunch. All Balin has to do is stall her until the codes are transmitted to the Eye of Sion. Yeah, 100%. So he's stalling her. And it's also like, I thought it was interesting, like in this part here too, he's like this part, he like takes a breath and just like stops for a second. And then he just like basically like takes away his lightsaber and then just starts talking to her. I just thought his character is just so good.
I took it as like he was searching her feelings.
I thought like there was some type of connection there too, as far as that goes. Like when he takes his deep breath, closes his eyes. I thought like that was just an interesting tidbit. And he totally just like plays her basically. Do you guys want to give your thoughts on kind of how this went down with Sabine? I'm sure you guys have some. I thought it was like she's like holding the gun to the map, like she's gonna shoot.
Like, what are you gonna do? Shoot your hand off?
Yeah, like you're probably not. I think it was probably a little bit more for dramatic effect, but there's like I don't think she's gonna necessarily shoot it. One other thing I want to talk about real quick too is like I thought it was badass when Ahsoka throws Shin just like right up against that rock.
That was awesome.
Like choke. Doesn't she choke her? I think she chokes her and then like throws her up against the rock. Like you don't see. So like. Again, an emotional thing right now with Ahsoka of what's going on. Like there's a lot of like emotional driven things that are happening between them right now. So, but yeah, that was badass.
Force
like,
choking.
Yeah.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah, that's a big no-no for like people who are, you know, like light side force users, right?
She is no Jedi.
She is no Jedi. But yeah, I thought that was badass. She like threw her and then another choke happens. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Let's start with Brick on this one as far as what did you think of the arc as far as Sabine giving like her choice to give up, to give up the map and go with them? What were your thoughts on this part?
She's desperate, emotional. She's not all there. She's listening too much to others around her, even if they are the enemy. And she doesn't know. To me, it's like, what else is she going to do? Who else is she going to be able to find Ezra? Like, is she really believe that Ezra's out there, that they can find Ezra? And I think that's all she's really living for right now, in hopes of that's still an opportunity. So she's willing to trust anybody, even if they are the enemy. So it was kind of a letdown how easily it was for her to do so. But I get it. She's very emotional, like we've been saying. So, yeah.
Nice,
nice,
man. Yeah. Graham, what are your thoughts on this part? I think you had mentioned something about this, but yeah, what are your thoughts?
She's weak. I mean, she's weak. No, it kind of alludes to it in the beginning.
Great.
Graham
Ahsoka
hates
tells
Sabine.
her. Ahsoka tells her, "We're not going to look for Ezra." Like, do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes,
Yeah, that's a good point.
you
like,
have to do what's right, as opposed to what feels right, or whatever. Whatever she said, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, like it would be like maybe they need to they should stop them from they should stop them from getting to Ezra and Thrawn in the first place, and it would be better for him to just be where he is without anybody ever going to him and leaving it like that than leading to what this is going to become if they end up going to Thrawn. Yeah,
and that's the thing though. She just keeps letting her emotions get to her though, which makes her weak. You're right. Yeah.
And she says, something like, "Can I trust you?" or something. And I think Sabine says, like, "Of course, you can," or something like that. But then right away, when it's crunch time,
baby.
Like Brick says, she's so desperate and she's just, weak-minded is what it is, she conforms and, crumbles. And I think afterwards she's like, shit, what did I just do? But, at that point it's too late, because it's not like she's just like turned to the dark side. She just wanted to do what was right in her heart. But then I think she understood what it cost and she got played. So now she's captive, and I do think her arc will change. It's not that I just hate the character. She's just my least favorite at this point, because it's bonehead thing after another. So it just gets annoying. And obviously, like you guys in the chat, I haven't watched all of Rebels, so this is just coming from my opinion of somebody that's just watching this kind of fresh and seeing like, damn, like she keeps costing them.
Yeah. Which honestly, I think from your perspective, it's a fair point from whether or not you watch Rebels anyways. Cause like we know Sabine can fight. That's a given. We know she can fight. But I think whether or not you watch Rebels, you can tell that there's emotions at play here and why she's making the decisions that she's making.
Well, and I think they're doing this with her too in the beginning of the season so that we could see her growth maybe in episode 8. Like maybe she's going to do something where she like saves the day and, you know, she's not so, you know, quote unquote weak anymore. So it makes it more of an impactful moment by seeing from the beginning of the season to now.
Yeah.
So
Best Arcade makes a good point. Like, so what was her choice if she didn't give Balin the map? You know, if she didn't give it to him and destroys it, yeah, I guess the choice was.
But it goes back to the beginning.
It goes back to the beginning of what Ahsoka was saying, right? Yep. The Ahsoka is basically saying, well, if they don't have the map, they destroy it. Ezra's never made. There's a minute possibility that he's found, right? If that
there's
happens.
Also a chance Balin strikes her down after that. Like,
yep.
Who knows?
Yeah. So ultimately, she obviously made the choice. Gave him the map. She's alive.
I mean, I'm sure it'll work out in the end.
It's also very interesting how Balin says, like, I'm giving you my word that you will basically, you're going to see your friend. Right. Yep. So like
he's stuck to that too. He's like, no,
he's like, Shin, I gave her my word. Like, Shin, you need to stop force choking the shit out of her.
Right. Yeah.
Basically, don't kill her because I gave her my word that, she's coming with us. And if she gives us a map. And like another thing I just want to mention real quick is he alludes to like he's doing this for the greater good because it seems like Balin believes in what Thrawn is trying to do. Like, I think Balin is going to be serving Thrawn. That's what I think like his purpose looks like now.
Because didn't he say war for the greater good?
Yep, and which is interesting because there's a Thrawn novel called The Greater Good too.
Right.
So like that is something that they alluded to, which I thought was interesting. So it seems like Balin is somebody who's going to be serving Thrawn, and that's his ultimate goal as of right now. Is that going to stay his motive? It's hard to say, but I thought that was interesting how. Like he's all about obviously getting to Thrawn, and that being kind of the purpose for him. And in order to create, you have to destroy. Like that was another thing that he said. So he's got like this darkness to what the path to this new success with Thrawn is.
Kind of it's just so Thanos.
Yeah, it's just so good. Like his character is just like so intriguing to me, and I think he's got to be my favorite character in the show right now. As far as like you have everything of that character, he's really powerful. He's still doing something and like following orders, but he's really powerful. And there's a mystery element to him of like, okay, well, like what is he actually trying to accomplish? And he's just badass, dude. Anyways, Mike, let's go with you here. What did you think about her giving up the map?
It was so frustrating to watch. Come on. You're thinking maybe she's going to hit him with a blaster at the last second or try, and he's going to block it and still get the map and say like, silly girl, I gave you a chance to whatever. I just thought she had something up her sleeve, but instead she was just emotionally manipulated by him, which look, that's also interesting writing. I can't, we have to see how this all plays out. And yes, it was very frustrating, but I also think it made for like really tension-filled television. So I'm okay with it. But I love his dynamic, and he does come off as somebody like, for example, like Darth Maul would never want to work with Thrawn. They're just too different.
Yeah.
But like his personality, you could see him being attracted to a leader like Thrawn, even more so than the Emperor. Because Thrawn is methodical. He takes his time. He's also a gentleman. So it's cool. I'm really curious to see what his ultimate aim is and what his relationship with Thrawn is.
Yeah. I think that's a really, really good point about Balin. Seems like he has respect for others and like what, kind of what their mindset is, as opposed to a lot of Sith. Like the downfall of the Sith basically was they're egotistical, right? They feel like they're so powerful, they can do whatever they want. Nobody's going to stop them. And like that led to their downfall, essentially. He's a lot more calculated in that way of like bargaining and, you know, making those types of decisions. So I think that's like a really good point. He kind of has like that mindset. It seems like, rather than like he easily could have taken that map and killed Sabine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why didn't he do that? You know?
Yeah. One last thing I want to say about him too is like he seems like the kind of character, as opposed to Sith, where they want to rule the galaxy as two, you know, and he seems the kind of guy that just wants order in the galaxy, which is part of the Sith. But
Yep.
you know, he's probably looking at this world or this universe, this galaxy, as disordered and chaotic, which it is right now, and we are seeing that reflected in the New Republic. So he's probably saying, you know, Thrawn is somebody that can do some good by bringing back order to the galaxy, and he's the kind of guy that strikes me as someone who would step aside. Like, I don't think he's craving power. I think he's craving order and like a just galaxy from his point of view.
Yep.
He reminds me a lot of.
Yeah, go ahead, Bray.
He reminds me a lot of Ser Jorah from Game of Thrones, where, you know, he's very loyal, wants order, you know, knows who he wants to lead, and all of that. So
yeah, and I think what better way to get people to follow your cause than to, like, you gave them your word, you didn't do it, like that's how you build a following, right? I think that's really interesting too. I just want to get to a couple comments here. Spotchka said, I like that he doesn't strike her down though, a man of his word.
Yep.
This is interesting. Like, what if Thrawn serves a purpose that doesn't align with Balin's? Like, that's a mysterious element, right? That we don't know of what's going to happen there. Beskar Kid says, smart Balin or Shin, you know, what, yeah, like Shin probably would have just killed her, right?
Yeah.
David Lynchen says, Balin strikes me as a knight from King Arthur, loyal to the cause for the greater good. Yeah.
Good
And
point.
then Titer says, I agree with the Jedi that Sabine is the most unlikable character right now.
We gotta hashtag it.
Man.
Mike is gonna actually
Pissing a lot of people off right now.
Yeah.
Listen, I have weaknesses in my life. All right,
She's
Mike's
just
got
frustrating
Mike's
right
got
now.
a Sabine bias.
She's just
for sure.
frustrating is all. It's not that she's a bad character or anything. She's just frustrating.
Yep.
dude.
And that's probably how she's meant to be played right now.
Agree, by the way, yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. Mike just loves Sabine. He wants to have her back no matter what.
I thought you were going to say he wants to have her babies no matter what.
He wants to have Sabine's babies.
I am a happily married man, and I am married to an Asian.
No
woman.
matter.
So you see, I may have my own biases here.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I think Mike, you made another good point of, like, it was a really good tension builder. And also, like, it serves the story. Her going along with them serves the story really well. I think I really like that element of, honestly, if you would ask me, you know, last week as far as predictions went, I don't think I would have said, hey, Sabine's gonna go with them. I would have thought they would, like, my thought was they were gonna get on this planet, they were gonna try to stop them, and they were gonna escape and go to Thrawn. I would have never have thought that Sabine would, or, you know, Sabine or Ahsoka would be someone who'd be getting on, you know, the ship with them and going to this other galaxy. I would
Keep
have
in
never.
mind, though, she was shackled,
expected.
so I think she is prisoner. So
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it was
she's
like
a
a
prisoner.
at your television moment, right? When she gave
Yeah.
it to him, and sometimes that sucks, and other times it's like, it means you're invested.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Oh, I'm invested, 100%. So, and then we have this interesting, like, another interesting thing is then we get this where Balin, like, destroys the map, right? Which we know that either Thrawn is going to come where they're at, or Ahsoka is going to find a way to get to where Thrawn is. Like, do you guys have thoughts on that? Do we see them going to the galaxy that Thrawn's in, or do we see Thrawn coming back to this galaxy? You know what I mean? Like, do you guys have any thoughts on that? Brick, why don't you give your thoughts while you say ooh?
Man, well, you know, I never thought of it that way. I always, you know, you always think they're going to be going to the galaxy far, far away, right? To where Thrawn's at, and we kind of see a whole new area within the universe. But yeah, I mean, I could see Thrawn coming to them as well. I could definitely see that them doing, maybe opening up a a portal or whatever you want to call it for him to be able to come through now, like a key or something. But I still think they go to him. I mean, with the map and everything, but who knows?
Yeah, like how do they get there? That's my question. It's like, now the map's destroyed, so like this is where we can,
Well, did he see how? I saw it as, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably am, but I saw it as, they saw how to get there, and then he destroyed it after that, so nobody could follow.
Yeah,
that's how I saw it too. They had it logged into their coordinates already.
Yeah.
Yep. So the plan is Balin's plan is, okay, nobody will be following us. That's basically it.
Right.
We got some people already saying in the chat, on the backs of Purgle, they use the Purgle. Yeah. So like they're gonna find a way there, in my opinion. Like they're gonna find a way to Thrawn. We know Purgle are a big part of that, but they're gonna find a way without the map, regardless. I think.
And then at the end there too, they hit that warp ring. What do they call that? The jump.
Like the hyperdrive ring you're talking about.
Yeah. So they got through that, right? So that kind of means they're heading that way, or was that for something else?
Oh no, like that ring was basically for them, that they needed that size of a ring to be able to jump as far as they were going.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. But yeah. Mike or Graham, you guys have any thoughts on this? As far as, would you guys both agree that they're going to find an alternative way without having the map?
Mike, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I think they are, and I think it's going to have something to do with Ahsoka touching the map, perhaps.
Yeah, it's an interesting point too.
Yeah,
maybe it's on her hand, burned right into there.
Isn't like Indiana Jones? It's not going to be on her hand.
Use the map, burn into Ahsoka's
Indiana
hand,
Jones or something
Indy
like
style.
that.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they go to this, because like supposedly the Night Sister magic, like we call them the Sisters of Dathomir, but like they're not really from Dathomir. Supposedly the magic that they use, the way they tap into it, is from this other galaxy. Like that's why they have the map. That's why they know where this galaxy is. So like with the Force, you have the cosmic force, and then you have the living force, which is the way beings interact with the Force. So if we go to this other galaxy, I think it'd be pretty awesome if the Force wielders are all using what we recognize as Night Sister magic. Like they don't really have the Jedi expression of the Force because this is not of their nature in that galaxy. I think that could be really interesting because Night Sister magic is the Force. They're Force users. It's just their way of using the Force that's totally different from the Jedi Code, the Jedi Order, and the Sith.
Yeah,
so it's another way of using the living Force, like imbues the cosmic Force. So I think that would be a cool way to differentiate. Because how do you differentiate one galaxy from another, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think we kind of talked about that earlier, like in the first, when we talked about episodes 1 and 2, about how like there's this new galaxy. Is like, is it going to be the Force? Is it going to be some other type of power that they have? Like, what's that going to look like? I think that's really intriguing.
Maybe that's where Jar Jar's been this whole time.
Darth Jar Jar. Name him by his actual
Jar
name.
Darth Jar Jar.
Well, we need Darth Jar Jar because I want the figure.
Jedi, what's your thoughts, man?
So I think there's two alternatives, and again, this is just my thoughts. This, just coming from a guy watching. But I think either they go and they get Thrawn and they're bringing him back, and that's where Ahsoka, the next battle takes place, or the next conflict. But I think more than likely she's going to find a way to get to them and follow them. And I do think the Purgles is kind of the best bet. They already saw them, coming into that world. So it only, maybe like foreshadowing is kind of how I took it. Like, so I think somehow she'll find a way to follow them, and because they also got to find Ezra too. So those are just kind of the thoughts that run through my head. But I think we'll find out a lot, obviously, next episode, because 4 episodes left. I think they've done a really good job of getting us all acquainted with the characters and the story. And then now I'm hoping, there really hasn't been like a filler episode, but I'm hoping the last 4 are just boom, boom, boom.
I don't think there's going to be a filler. I really don't for this show.
Because that's what we were worried about with, I think it was Mando. Yeah, like 8 episodes as well. But then we were still having like fillers where it was like these treasure hunts. And I don't feel like we're getting the
and-
treasure hunts with this episode, and I like that. Like, I don't mind those once in a while, but the fact that it's to the point, to the story. We have a what are I'm blanking here, but we have like we have the plot, and we're chasing that, and that's what's happening. So I like that a lot, and I think that's why this show is so underrated. And I really do hope a lot more people are starting to watch it, because it didn't start the best viewership wise.
Yeah, plot. Like
totally-
every episode has been a plot advancer, right?
Yeah.
Every single one.
That's what I was going to say. Like, this show's moving in a clip. Last week, my fear about this episode was going to be just a fight in the woods and we don't get anywhere.
Yeah.
But
Right.
no,
Yeah.
man, like we got a lot in this episode,
Mhm.
and we're already off to the next galaxy. So the show's moving in a good way.
Yeah. Bone says 5 will be an insane episode. I hope people share that sentiment that
Yeah.
like everybody that has watched the show has got to be hyped for episode 5. They gave you like obviously the cliffhanger, so to speak, at the end of this episode.
They're
but
putting
very
it in
cool.
theaters, so they
Yeah,
believe in
right.
episode 5.
When you're putting a limited release in theaters before the release, I think it's also before it drops on Tuesday night. Like it's an advanced screening in theaters. Like you are
wow.
confident that episode is going to be something really big.
Yeah, but where are they showing? They're not showing it in Manhattan. I'm like, really? Because
I
where the hell are they showing this?
probably
thing?
probably like LA and like who knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But yeah, I think that's
Well, and then the
Yes,
actress that plays Shen, she said her favorite episode is 6. So we have a lot of good stuff coming.
yeah. And I'm so glad they did 8 episodes. Like these first 4 have been really good. The next one's gonna be just, I mean, and it's like Filoni's only one that he's directing for the rest of the season. So next episode's gonna be really, really good. Here you go, Seattle. Beskar Kid says going to Seattle to see it in theater on the 12th. It'll be an hour
Nice.
earlier than on Disney Plus. So yeah, so I guess it's not too advanced. An hour before, which I'm glad they did it that way. I'm glad they did it an hour before. It's an advanced screening. You can go see it, but not like just stay off the internet for an hour.
Yeah.
Don't get spoiled.
I think it's
glad
only.
I'm glad
I don't
it's
know if
not
you guys
Monday night.
mentioned it, but it's only like 10 theaters in the U.S.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
limited. But that's interesting. Interesting that they're doing that. And then obviously we get this moment where they launch, and honestly, like this moment kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like when they're just, I mean, you probably don't think that they're gonna die, but when they're launching literally right at, I'm trying to find like a better picture of this, but when they're launching directly at the ghost, you're like, yeah, okay, something bad is gonna end up happening.
I was hoping not a holdo maneuver or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but like,
It's
you
1
know,
million.
like, yeah. But this was like, honestly, cinematically, this looked
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
really cool with like the X-Wings going flying and stuff like that. I thought that was, yeah, like this looked really cool. And then you get this part. Yeah, everybody just starts going flying, and then you get people who crash into each other and all that stuff. So this was obviously, like we talked about kind of a little bit earlier on, alluded to, not good for Hera. Like Hera's going to be in trouble. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Because like, I guess my thoughts are now they're really going to be, I don't know what that's going to do for her career, but now they're really going to be like, yeah, you're done. Like we are not going to be listening to anything you want to do or say, which is going to basically undermine the threat of Thrawn even more. Right. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this as far as this part was before we get to the banger of an ending of the episode. You guys have anything you want to speak to about this part?
No, I thought it was awesome. I actually thought they were going to get sucked into the wake with them and go with them.
That would have been interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
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 You know, but that didn't happen. And his line when he says, "I got a bad feeling," which is cool, a great throwback, obviously.
Yep.
Maybe in the next episode, he feels funny right here because we start to hear some space whales, you know, and he's sensing that because like force sensitive people can commune and sense the space whales. So the purple, I don't know, but it was cool. I hope Zeb comes and helps them out. I really
Oh,
want
man.
Zeb.
Me too.
We got to
You
see
know?
Zeb, right?
We have to, right? I mean, come on.
They teased him, so you'd think.
We've got
Yeah.
to.
He's coming. It's got to.
Could be a budgeting constraint. Is it an expensive character to realize on screen, perhaps?
Yeah. Brick or Graham, you want to add anything into this part here?
Go ahead,
Man,
Brick.
you said it, the cinematography. I mean, just them standing there, looking out the window and seeing them go, warp speed, pretty much. That was like the coolest scene in the episode for me. Just, or for cinematography, it was just awesome. Yeah, like right here.
Yeah,
But
you're
yeah,
talking about them launching into.
yeah, when they were launching. But yeah, I was
That
really
visual
worried.
Never gets old.
I was really worried about Hera too. I thought something was going to happen there, but I like what Mike said. They could have jumped with him or something. That would have been kind of cool, actually. Yeah, that scene right there was really cool. I love that.
I love how Sabine's like, Hera,
Yeah,
Hera, no, not you. But yeah, I thought this was cool as well. Graham, looks like you got some thoughts.
No, I don't. Hit me with the
Don't.
world between worlds.
World between worlds, man.
he's like,
Yeah, this is cool. Also, one thing I want to say, real quick. I don't know if I mentioned this in past episodes, but this view of like, oh shoot, no, I don't want to play too much of this because I don't want YouTube to get mad at me. But this view when they're like when you see them standing and you look out the window, this ship that they're on is the one when we see the Thrawn reveal in the trailer, he walks into this same area. So like he's going to be on this ship.
yeah.
That's another interesting thing. Like it's got to be, I'm guessing it's the same one. It looks exactly the same. You can see the rings. So I just wanted to point that out. I don't know if I had mentioned that in the past. But yeah, Mike, I agree. I also like the how he's like, yeah, I got a bad feeling. Not about this though. Just he's got a bad feeling.
Right,
yeah,
they changed it a little bit.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling. Didn't say he's got about this. But I know like you made the point earlier on the episode too of like earlier on the show of like why did he come with Hera? It's just interesting. So let me get this
I
part.
think maybe the reason he came on is because there needs to be like a force sensitive person in their environment at this point.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense. Maybe she's taking him everywhere, and no matter what, he's going with her. And then we get this part. Hu Yang, where is everybody? This is interesting. Like this short little clip of like, well, what am I gonna do now? I thought that was interesting. Before we get to this last part, I just want to get some comments here. Peyton says episode 5 is supposed to be 49 minutes. Very nice. Cooper says, with how amazing this show looks cinematically, just imagine how Dave's movie, possibly trilogy, will look with the movie budget. If he does a movie, if they do end up doing a Dave Filoni trilogy, yeah, that would be really, really cool. Tighter Fell says, the show kind of makes me bitter because why couldn't they have written and produced Obi-Wan as well as Ahsoka has been so far? I loved Obi-Wan, so I don't know.
I'm with you, dude.
I enjoy that show. Mike will be with you on that.
I liked it
for
a lot.
sure. Yeah, I like Obi-Wan as well. Still enjoying the show. Hope the show is a sign of Star Wars on the upswing. I thought, hopefully this sets the tone for the future here.
And with all the news too, I'm sure it's bringing the views up a little bit.
Yeah,
people want to see that.
Yeah, the hype moment.
Yep.
So
I think
then,
it was trending for the first time in a bigger way this episode than the other one, so that's good.
So then we get the big reveal, Ahsoka. So obviously, like if you've seen Rebels and World Between Worlds, you knew that this was World Between Worlds. And then we get Hello Snips, and I didn't hear it at first, so I turned on subtitles and then I saw it. I rewound the show. I was like, what was just said? And then we obviously get the big reveal of Anakin. And I just remember I just yelled. I was like, no fucking way. I was yelling in my basement.
He started crying.
Just shed a couple
Started
tears.
stroking his Anakin hot toy.
I went right over to my shelf. Yep. Came right over here and just held him right here while I just watched
happy.
Over and over again. Kept rewinding back 20 seconds. But yeah, so then like we don't really get much. Surprised to see you so soon, basically. And then like, we see him and he's got a certain outfit on. He has his lightsaber, and then you hear the Vader theme.
Yep.
And like this is a really short piece of this part until it breaks and leaves us with this. Graham, I want to start with you on this one.
Yeah, it was really cool. I don't know everything there is to know about the world between worlds, but it was really cool to see Anakin again, and it was emotional because obviously I've seen enough of Clone Wars that I know their story and I know their relationship. So it did leave me with more questions, though, obviously than answers, which I think is the whole point, so that we keep watching. But like you guys were saying in the chat, he's got, I believe, Darth Vader's lightsaber, and then we hear the Vader music kind of playing at the end, and what does it all mean? So I'm just really excited to see the next episode, just to kind of get some more clarity and get some more answers. I don't know if this is a vision, if this is him living in the world between worlds. Like I don't understand that stuff yet, like what it fully means, and because he's not a Force ghost, obviously. So yeah, just questions. Thought the de-aging was okay. He looked a little off, just skin tones and everything, but it could have just been the lighting too, of being in space and whatnot. But
it could just be like what he like, and
the glow.
It could just be the situation he's in.
Yeah.
Like
That's how you know we're collectors. That's the lighting,
right?
The lighting.
No,
Yeah,
but it was
exactly.
cool too, because you hear Snips, and that was his nickname for her, and just her face when she sees him. It was just really cool to see. So just really exciting as a Star Wars fan.
Brick, what are your thoughts, man?
Brings so many questions to me because I don't see a scar on his face. I see Beskar commenting that there is a scar. I didn't see it, and from what I'm hearing from many other people, but brings questions. This is before Return, and or Revenge. I'm sorry, and is it going to be? Is it him visiting here, or warning her about something? Is he going to help her in some way? Whether it's boosting her, just giving her like, what am I trying to say? Boosting her ego, not ego, but like, hey, you got this kind of thing. And, or is he really gonna, you told me it's not really like a time, like a time.
Yeah. The world between worlds is not about time travel.
Right.
It's not a time travel.
But there's
thing.
like doors and stuff, right?
There's doors to all these different moments throughout time that you can,
right.
You can go in and out of, but it doesn't mean that you can just go in and disrupt literally everything that happens, because there's consequences for doing that.
Right. But is this a door that somehow she went into that she can see him, or is this are they both there at the same time somehow?
That has yet to be answered.
That's exciting to kind of.
Yep.
And I think we're gonna get a lot of those answers in the next episode.
Hopefully the next episode will be like really filled with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, leaves a lot of questions, right? Mike, I'm sure like knowing World Between Worlds and like having seen Rebels and all that good stuff with this, what are your thoughts on seeing this here? Do you have any thoughts or predictions on what might be to come here?
No. No, I really, man, I would just be sitting here just like battling more than I do normally.
Yeah. You can save it for me.
Yeah, dude, they left it just so ambiguous, bro. Some people see the scar. Some people, I'm reading the comments, like some people are saying there is no scar, there is a scar.
And does it even matter? Does it even matter that he has a scar? Does it even matter he's wearing this outfit, that he has this lightsaber? Right. Like, do all those details matter? We don't know.
Exactly. What's the significance of all that? Now, it makes sense that he doesn't look like a Force ghost, because maybe this is where Force ghosts reside, and then they pop in these doors, through the doors, to appear as Force ghosts. So there's just so many questions, man. It's awesome. Is that a mechanical hand? Like, why is he dressed like that? There's so many mysteries. And then why do they play the Vader theme song?
How did she get here?
Yeah, that was a big question I had.
She just randomly woke up there. Did she hit the water? Is she asleep? Did somebody, like, I read the comment right here. Did he pull her in somehow?
Yeah.
I mean, how does that work?
So, to me, the only way she could have, because this isn't, you don't go here when you die. It's not like you die and then you wake up here. Like, the way I understand it, and from what we've seen in the past, is like she had to be pulled out of what she was doing
Mm-hmm.
through one of those doors to end up here. So it's
Yeah.
like, did Anakin pull her in there? How did she get there?
Yeah.
And then how is she going? Obviously, she's going to return to the story. How are they going to do that? Because Ahsoka has already rejected opportunities to do things with the world between worlds in Rebels. So, yeah, it's going to be fascinating, man.
Yeah.
I have zero answers and a lot of like just excitement for the mystery ahead.
Yep. Chat's kind of blowing up over this one here because
Yeah,
there's a
let's see
lot
what
of
they say.
speculation
Right.
as far as like what's gonna happen here.
I'll kill ya.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Anakin's just gonna kill Ahsoka in there. So Scar is there. I think there's a bunch of talk about whether or not the scar is there. Again, I'm not sure if that really matters, whether or not he has a scar, whether or not like if it's there or not, is there going to be any significance to that? Is Anakin truly there from a moment from a different time where he was in there and then pulled Ahsoka in as well? We don't know for sure yet, right?
Right.
Beskar Kid says people are focused on Anakin's lightsaber. It is Anakin's, it's not Vader's. Why is Anakin in his prequel outfit? Like we don't know. And like I said, is it going to be significant? We just don't know yet. He's still wearing the gauntlet. You know, if he were a Force Ghost, he'd have his normal hand. And then I know, like, Grandma saw you saying, like, good point of it being her manifestation. There were a couple comments in here. I think Spotchka was one of them saying, yeah, you know, this is the last image she had of Anakin. So is it maybe her manifestation of him? Is this was what, like, she wants to see? You know, like, this is a place of knowledge, too, right? And within the world between worlds, like, she knows Anakin in this way. Is this what she wants to see? Like, you know, it is a place where, you know, whenever I talk to people about world between worlds, because it can be confusing, is it's like I always usually tell people it's a place that it transcends space and time, right? So you get all these moments that echo throughout time, essentially within the Star Wars universe. So in Rebels, there's somebody in there, and you can hear voices all throughout all of Star Wars. Like you hear Rey's voice because and that hasn't even happened yet in this point. So it just all these different moments culminate in this spot. Some people say like, well, then could you know, is there like, then there's all these portals, right? There's all these different portals. Can you time travel in and out of them? We don't know for sure, like whether or not you could do that. I suppose you could, but you can't really, if you were to do that, the consequences are basically catastrophic if you were to change moments in time within the world between worlds, because you're talking about, you know, there's been a lot of talk since this episode dropped of like, well, is Anakin, now that Anakin's in World Between Worlds, could he just like prevent the whole sequel trilogy? Like that's what people have been saying. Could he like stop things from happening? Or is this a way where like he could prevent himself? Like, could he prevent himself from becoming Darth Vader? Right. That's not how it, my understanding is that's not really how this works, where you can't really like influence events in that way because of like what that would cause. But again, I'm just speculating because a lot of it is basically unknown. Like we truly don't know. Yeah. And I think hopefully, I think next episode we're going to get a lot of, you know, hashing out of the details. And there's probably going to be extensive discussion between Anakin and Ahsoka, either talking about moments or like, and I think ultimately what this is going to result in when we're talking about the theme of the show and how Ahsoka is obviously hasn't processed it, she's going to come out of this having processed her emotions, and it's going to probably change her for the better ultimately, is what I think is going to happen.
Even more of a badass.
Yep. She needs to get closure on the Anakin situation, and I truly think this is how she gets it. This is probably going to be how she gets her closure. That's going to be that, and then she's going to know basically what she has to do. I think it's going to progress her arc through the rest of the story based on the conversations that she has with Anakin within the world between worlds.
It's going to be so good.
What the significance is, I don't really know. Like what the significance is. Like, is Anakin there? Is he there from another moment in time? And he saw that Ahsoka was falling, and he's going to be like, Ahsoka, like, why are you so old? Like, we just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So I think like it's just very, very mysterious in that way of what's going to happen. I'm really excited.
Palpatine was desperate to get a way into the world between worlds, so there is an element of this that can be misused to cause problems. So, you know what I mean? So that's why I don't really trust this Anakin yet, because remember, like even from afar, Palpatine was able to enter with Force energy into the world between worlds. And so, like, they had to try to destroy it essentially so that he couldn't get in there and manipulate not time but events.
Yep.
So there is a threat, potential threat inside the world between worlds.
Yeah, and like it's really going to be interesting to see because there's still a lot of questions surrounding it. You know, it's a lot of I suppose this could happen. You know, this is a potential, but we don't really know for sure. I do think, you know, Beskar Kid also said in here the next episode is where we can see flashbacks. I do think we're going to see moments in time that Anakin and Ahsoka had either together, or we're going to get different discussions between them about, hey, look at this moment, because that's what happens in these different areas within World Between Worlds. So we're probably going to get them hashing out some things that have happened. I'm really excited to see it. The Darth Vader theme is like what really threw me for a loop is like, why are you playing the Darth Vader theme? You know, like, why are you playing this at the end of the episode? Like, that's got to mean something, right?
It makes no sense if this is good guy Anakin here.
Yeah.
You know, some of these comments are great, by the way. Tinder and Tider, I'm sorry, we see very eye to eye on some things.
Yeah. Stop the sequel trilogy. That can't happen. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think like that stuff's gonna happen. Like as far as them like changing the future of Star Wars with it. The thing is once you get into that, it like it makes it so moments don't hold weight. I think because then it's like, oh well, you could just have somebody go through and edit a moment whenever you see fit. And I think like it gets once you start time traveling and stuff, it gets real messy.
I really don't like time travel outside.
Yeah, I don't really like time travel either. Another thing I want to mention is whether or not Ahsoka, whether or not they're going to touch on Mortis in this. Because we know like what happens on Mortis with Ahsoka and then like, like Morai following her around like the bird. I forget what the exact name is. I forget. I forget what like
it's Morai.
Yeah, it's like Morai, but what's the species called? Somebody's got to know in chat. Starts with a C.
I can't remember.
Anyways, so like that, like there's some significant stuff, and you know, Graham and Brick, you guys are gonna end up seeing. Well, I guess you'd probably have to look up Clone Wars, like the Mortis episodes, but like Ahsoka, I think too. With that being said, has like a really, really deep connection with how the Force is. Like this is some deep lore stuff, but as far as like when you get into Clone Wars, as far as like I think there's more to the connection between Anakin and Ahsoka when it comes to Mortis that that we might see too. That would be kind of like my prediction as far as that goes. Like just the really, really deep connection with the Force, and like how that ends up playing out and what Ahsoka's true purpose is as a character when it comes to that. Right. Because I think like that Mortis stuff is going to have some weight and some significance moving huge. Forward potentially. Yeah.
Yeah, because she is now the reanimated, like rebirthed, if you will, by the light side, like literally.
Yep.
And remember, the father wanted the chosen one to take his place.
Convor, that's it. Thank you, Beskar Kid.
Oh, thank you. There are some theories that Anakin ascended to become the father, and like that's what we're seeing here now.
Yeah, and we know the sacrifice that like the daughter made, right? Because Ahsoka,
exactly.
Like, we know when they're on Mortis, what happens with Ahsoka, and then Morai follows her forever, right? Basically, like just continues to follow her, and so that's gonna be interesting. Brick and Graham are probably like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Sorry. You guys will
out.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see. And I think also too, I'm not really like, if they do explain that, they'll probably end up, you know, hashing some of that out. But next episode's going to be, I think we're going to see a lot of that. So I'm very excited.
So what do you guys think, if you don't mind me asking the panel here? Do you think this is Anakin, not Anakin, a good guy, bad guy? Like, what do you guys feel?
I honestly have no clue. I can't guess at this point.
I think it's Anakin when he was here before, and this is just something that new that we are now finding out that he was with Ahsoka, and I think it's him. Yeah. But I really hope they don't change anything from, you know, taking the sequels out, because then you lose.
They won't do that.
You lose right,
but
happening. then not only that, but then you like any movie that's ever made in the future, it's like, well, this could all change soon. So
They're not going to do that.
Yeah, they better not.
They won't do it for many reasons. Disney's too proud to do that as well.
Mike, do you
Right.
think this is Anakin? Like, do you think this is him, like, in World Between Worlds?
No, I don't like. And if it is, it's more like a Bendu situation where it's like he's operating on both sides. It's not the Anakin we know or Ahsoka knows, in my opinion, which is sad.
Could it be Vader?
Yeah, it could be. I mean,
And then she just sees Anakin because that's,
or it
Yeah.
could be like a representation of Vader. Like I would rather it. The Vader's like the last thing I'd want it to be because that, I don't know, doesn't. I don't want any more invalidation of the first 6 films.
Yeah.
From Disney because they've done a lot of damage, in my opinion, to the sacrifice that Anakin made, that Vader made in coming back to his light side at the end of Return of the Jedi. So yeah, I hope it's not Vader. But what I'm saying is like I hope it is an image that some force or someone is showing her to confuse her or manipulate her, rather than it be like Vader.
sure.
Yeah. Spachu makes a good point here. This is Ahsoka's closure to Anakin. I agree. I think this is when the ending between Anakin and Ahsoka and the closure for her. Wouldn't be surprised if if the show ends with Ahsoka visiting Luke. That would be interesting.
That'd be cool.
Remember,
I
this is
hope
post.
100% of that is true.
Remember, this is post Return of the Jedi, so it'd be cool to hear Anakin's perspective of post Empire thoughts. So that would be really that's enough. This is where it gets really dicey and weird because if this is an older Anakin from a past moment before he becomes Vader, what does that conversation look like? Or if this is Anakin manifesting in a certain way to where he's already been Vader and already experienced that, but he is what Ahsoka wants him to be. Like, this is where the unanswered questions happen.
Right,
Like, this is where it gets really weird. So is this truly Anakin? I don't know. I can't even guess with an accurate guess. Like in that, explaining that of when, like, if Anakin was here, when was he here? If it's truly him, it just gets, So hopefully they're going to have to flesh this out in the next episode. I don't see how you drop this, and we know Ahsoka's down there, so like, or I guess down there wherever it is, but it's gonna be very interesting. I just know, like I said, my main thing is I think regardless of what it is, we're gonna get closure on what Ahsoka and Anakin, what she really needs to move her character forward, basically. And I think that's gonna change a lot for her moving forward as far as like the direction her character goes with the closure for Anakin. I don't know if this is like truly Anakin. It's weird. I don't know.
Is it
Say,
possible?
I hope it's all of that. I hope it's all that positive stuff.
I hope it's all that. That's really what I want the most. I don't really like, is it really Anakin in a moment in time where he was in there? I don't know, but I'd much rather get the conversation between them that closes it out for Ahsoka and puts her on, like, gets her the closure that she needs because of what has happened with her in the past. Another thing would be, it would be really weird if this was truly Anakin and then he's looking at moments with Ahsoka where he's Darth Vader and is reflecting on that. That would be very, very interesting for them to do that. Like, how do they make that work? In that case, I would say it's not like he's seeing him. Another thing is like when we see the Mortis episode and where Anakin has visions of himself becoming Darth Vader, that happened, but then we know he leaves the planet and his memory is he doesn't remember it. Right.
Yes, he says.
So Graham and Brick, there's an episode in Clone Wars where he's on, he has visions of himself becoming Darth Vader.
I think
but
I've
once
seen
he
that one.
once
I
he
think
goes
I've
off
seen that.
world, off planet, his memory, he has no recollection of that vision. So that's just really, it's going to be really interesting to see where they take this.
Have you guys heard the rumor that I'm not going to say it, but it's probably going to happen next episode. I can't even hint at it. But if you heard the rumor, I think you think I'm talking about. I think. Go ahead.
I heard there's some leaks, but I haven't looked into it.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
I don't want to hear it.
Because I knew he was
Not
coming,
on this show.
which kind of bothers me. Like I was so excited to see him, but I wish I hadn't heard that rumor that he was in the show. I mean, but whatever. But like, what's coming up is if what's coming up is true, this is going to be freaking awesome. So,
Good old
Is
Spot
there
says, Snips,
any-
how's my son? See, like that's what I mean. Like that's a weird conversation if they end up getting
Yeah.
into that. So I can see this more of like I said, a closure thing. They maybe have some flashback moments where they're looking back in time and they're looking at moments that they had, but I don't know how much I want them to get real weird with this. I don't know, like, because there's some really weird stuff. I hope they don't make it to that level of weirdness.
But there's no way this could all just be in her head, imagination.
We don't know. We don't know.
Right, but it could just be that, and then she's basically leading the way, and Anakin is all in her head while she's here, and she gets closure that way. Like basically her emotional, like a internal journal almost, and
like her
kind of
subconscious
seeing a different.
state.
Yeah. So maybe something like that.
And like I said, I think the world between worlds is a place where the more knowledge you have and the more connected you are with the Force and stuff like that, the more you experience when you're there. I think that was kind of my understanding of it too, is like knowledge plays a role when you're in there to what you see. So like it just gets very intricate when it comes to this place. So hopefully next episode, and I would expect them, because like all of this is speculation because they didn't really hash this out either in Rebels very much. You know what I mean? It's like it happened, it was very unique and interesting, but there's a lot of mysterious element to it that hasn't really been hashed out yet. So hopefully next episode we see that. Yeah, good conversation about that, because yeah, this is obviously like the most perplexing part of the whole episode, and we get Anakin. Like, just what a time to be a Star Wars fan and to get more Star Wars figures.
Getting a figure
in your collection.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any thoughts on what this means as far as like, so we're getting rooted Anakin. Did they do an Anakin for this show where they come out with a
100%.
sculpted Anakin?
Yep, that's their way
in
to
this
get some money.
outfit for the show.
Yep.
Like,
that
does
why
that
they-
happen?
Yeah, like why they paired the Joker with sculpted and rooted.
And
But we
maybe
didn't
they
get
save this and they
sculpted
say
Anakin.
we're gonna do an Ahsoka, Anakin Skywalker with rooted hair, or not with rooted hair, with sculpted hair.
Yep.
Makes perfect sense. Like, because why would they wouldn't want to like give us this version and the sculpted artisan version together at the same time, So this is our sculpted version now.
Different line. Yep. But
Spotsky says, please no Anakin for the show. Enough of the Hot Toys Anakin for a while. I don't think we really need one, but like I could see them potentially doing it.
yep.
Graham, you
Updated
got
sculpt.
thoughts on this? I see you
Yeah,
inside
I'm kind
your
of with
mind.
I'm kind of with Spotchka. I don't think it's 100% we're gonna get Anakin. Maybe if we see a good portion of him in the next episode, it's possible. But at the same time,
It's already 2 on the way. It's a really good point.
there's already enough out there. I just don't know if they're gonna reissue sculpted hair, light side Anakin when you have one out, but then you also did the artisan version. I don't know. It could.
It's all
could
about
happen.
money, man. People.
But,
They
Um,
got to make it different enough. I feel like they'd have to make it different.
Yeah, they'll update the head sculpt to look a lot
Put
better.
like a world between worlds, like blue transcendent base in there.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
That
When
would
Plus,
did
be
you
the
got
light
to think about
side
the other
actually.
figures you're going to get from this line too. So, are they really going to do another Anakin when
Yeah.
he's just in it for a couple moments? I mean, everybody thought we were getting dark side Anakin from Obi-Wan, and that never happened. So,
Good point.
could happen, but I don't know. Not gonna
Yeah.
jump on it
Do
yet.
you guys think like maybe a stupid question, but like Hot Toys is looking at the viewers, like the viewer count of this show, and kind of still
Oh yeah.
debating how much they're going to release or not.
Probably.
I think that plays
for
a
sure.
role. I mean, Andor, they didn't make anything. And like that
I
show could
know.
have had so many. Maybe they're saving it for season 2.
What did we get
I
from?
think they're going to come back to it for season 2, but like, yeah, why not make like a. And you don't even have a Cassian Andor from Rogue One, who was a big character in that movie. Like, why not make a Cassian? It's crazy. I don't know.
What did we get
Yeah.
from Mando season 3? Just IG-12.
IG-12, and then Moff Gideon, and then the Praetorian
okay.
Guards.
So they started rolling those out a little bit later, but I mean, not as heavy as it has been in previous years. So I think that's
Yeah.
got to play a little bit of a part into it as well. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Kind of
don't
also
know,
like Heavy Mando, if you want to include that as part of a release for that show, because it was like kind of announced just before it started, and then
Oh
they
yeah,
released
because
the
they
gun.
put Paz Vis. They were like doing Paz
This
Vizsla,
Book of
right?
Boba,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think brand, but yeah,
Oh
I mean,
yeah. Yep.
Oh, technically, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that'll be
But
interesting.
I don't know.
know.
I just
They need to
If-
announce
if
some
they
other
s-
figures for this show first. Like you got to give us Hera and Chopper, and
Right.
you know
We
we
need
don't
to
know.
officially announce Sabine.
Yeah. And another thing is, I think they're probably gonna wait because there's reveals coming.
yes.
Like I can see them. I could see Thrawn being revealed, and then Hot Toys. You know, the next day or two, or the next morning following the show dropping, them popping up a Thrawn figure. You know, like
Yeah.
Thrawn's
Hot
got to be
Toys-
happening, right?
Yeah, they're conservative about that. Like some other toy companies, you get leaks on character design and reveals, like because the toys come out, or at least pictures of them. But like Hot Toys doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
because like Ahsoka might come out of the world between worlds and being in a different outfit, so could be why they're holding off. Because I think we're going to get another Ahsoka if she's in another outfit, and I don't want that space suit.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll do
Please.
the spacesuit. It'd be interesting to see if they do that. Like it was such a short part. Is she going to be in that outfit again? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is her outfit going to change? That's another thing. Is like so after she comes out of World Between Worlds, is her whole outfit going to be different? Like
hope
is she
so.
going to have
Yeah.
a full on new outfit and going to be like a whole new character style of?
Like
Yeah.
Gandalf the Gray to Gandalf the White.
That's
It's
possible.
just that
That's
Ahsoka
the way,
the White.
exactly.
Yep.
There
So
you
like,
go.
could
Yeah,
she
yep. Perfect.
could she potentially be completely different as far as her character looks? I could see that happening.
So I was listening to something Will and Kiko were talking about, and one of them said they don't think Shin will be created if Balin can't be created, like as a figure. Do you think we get Shin if we don't get a Balin?
You got Kate Bishop, you didn't get a Hawkeye.
You got everybody in Rogue One, but you didn't get a Baze Malbus. So I don't
Yeah.
put anything past Hot Toys. I think a lot of it has to do with licensing and can they get the likeness to the person.
Yep.
And if they can and they think it'll sell well, they'll do it. You know, I think like there's more behind the scenes that goes on with when it comes to getting
Well, good
people.
because
I'm
I
sure
want
they'd like to do everything. I don't know if they'll do Shin or not. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
No.
Would you rather Shin over Balin? Or I'd take whatever you can get, I guess.
I would say, I mean, I'd rather ideally get both of them. I don't know if
Yeah,
one versus
Balin,
the other. I'd probably
Balin's so
want Balin.
badass. Yeah, if I had to choose one, I would choose Balin.
Yeah, but they're both so great, and like having them both together would be
Yeah.
ideal, obviously. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be interesting. You just don't know what they're gonna release, and then if it's an incomplete line, it's just I don't love how they do incomplete stuff like that.
No.
You know, like I
can't stand
really
it.
want a Baze Malbus. He would look, and Bodhi Rook from Rogue One. Like they'd both
Yeah.
be like, why didn't they make those? And Cassian. Like it's just so weird.
Well,
but
Cassian was the weirdest one
that's
because
such a weird omission.
main
man. I
character.
don't
But
get it.
like you said, there's things that could happen where maybe he. I mean, Tom Cruise doesn't give his likeness for anything, so there are no toys that have
Yep.
Tom Cruise's likeness. And some people are just like that too. So
Yeah. maybe they do that, and that's the reason. You know.
It'd be so sweet to have some orange sabers in your collection, right? A different
Oh,
color
man.
and that.
Yeah, I think it'd be. I mean, the way that the show is going, the more characters they decide to release, the better. To be
Yep.
honest.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if there's a season 2, it gives you time to get certain characters too. Like for example, Thrawn. You know, if he
Yeah.
doesn't come until the end of the season, you know, he could be a season 2 guy. So
he's gonna
They
be.
would-
He's gonna be a definitive figure that they're gonna do 100%. He's gonna look.
They went pretty
amazing.
deep with Kenobi. Like, that was a pretty big line.
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. But they still have some Inquisitors just hanging out that they haven't fully announced yet. They're in the coming soon.
graveyard.
Yeah. So it's just like, man, are you guys gonna release these ones or announce them or what? I don't know, but we'll see.
It is frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was one of those things as a newer collector, like to wrap my head around, because I'm used to like coming from like the 7-inch, you get everything. I mean,
Yeah.
and you kind of like know you're gonna get like tons of stuff. And Hot Toys is so weird. And then you're like I invested, first of all, the time it takes for these figures to come out, and then it's like maybe you have 3, but there's like 2 more that you really need that just never come or come 3 years later. It's just a very frustrating part of
Yep.
part of the hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Black Series. They already have Hu Yang and a Marok up for pre-order.
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
It's like they just like drop everything. You know what I mean? It's like
Makes
if
me kinda
Marok
wanna go back, doesn't it?
No, it absolutely does not. But if like Marok came out Hot Toys, would like people want him? Like, would you guys be interested in
I
picking
would
that
not,
figure
no.
up?
Not anymore.
I
I
probably
mean, only if
wouldn't.
they released. Yeah. No.
He would look really cool, but I don't know if like it's hard to justify.
Maybe when he went on sale.
Right, and you had everything else already. You're
Right.
like, all right.
Yeah.
Put him
One
standing
six
next to
shooter.
Balin.
But there are Bazing casting figures, Black Series. Pulling at my old heartstrings on the
It's
Black
true.
Series, taking me back. Yeah. It'd be interesting. Hot Toys is weird when it comes to some of that stuff. But yeah, and also it's like Sabine. We're 4 episodes in. Sabine has gotten teased. We've gotten nothing else.
Right.
Literally nothing else. So
Right.
maybe they're just waiting to see the reception for the show and see how the show turns out. I'm sure they're keeping an eye on that stuff.
But it's just we live in such a weird time because a lot of these companies gauge reception based on Twitter and
Yeah,
trending
marketing.
stuff because you're getting really different numbers. I mean, by some aggregators, you're getting 1.2 million in the first 6 days, and then Disney says it's 14 million. So I hope Hot Toys trusts Disney on that one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, they've got to go
Right.
based on some of the popularity of the show, but we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Titer says, "Give me a Hu Yang.
Yeah.
That'd be
Hu
a
Yang.
dope figure."
yeah,
Yeah,
but-
that'd be really really cool. Spachi says, "Ironically, Marok was one of my most wanted before the show started. Not anymore."
yeah.
Yeah. So
Kind of like when they blew up the Razor Crest for me, I was like, well,
I know,
There is
dude. That was like, so when they did the vintage collection, like HasLab Razor Crest, it was like they did it, everybody backed it, and then the shit blew up.
Blew it up.
yep, yep.
Like, come on, you guys. What? And you like? Did you really not know that that was gonna happen, or is like? Nevertheless, it's still a cool piece. Like, I do really like it.
Yeah.
But damn,
That's
it's
sick
gone.
in person.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's cool. That's right. You said.
Well, I got
Yep.
I got the Ghost coming home. We finally got to see.
Yeah, I passed on it, man.
Yeah, this episode might have put a few people over the edge because
Yep.
it definitely. I mean, the last day it picked up over 6,000 more.
Wow, what a perfect time to close it. It looks like
Yeah.
they knew what they were doing. Close it right after
Actually-
it premieres in live action. Wait, was
Yeah,
it
but
after?
you may-
Was it after?
It was the day after, but if you remember when the announcement for the Ghost happened, they hadn't moved it to Tuesday yet, so it would have happened the night that it ended.
Oh, interesting.
You know what I mean?
So people would have seen it and been like, I gotta back it right now.
I got like an
Yeah.
hour. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I mean, it looked really good in live action for sure.
Yeah. And 1/6 shooter is answering something. that
Yeah,
was thinking
I don't
about.
think it's a likeness rights thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I
Because-
think that's a good indicator. If they're making it in Black Series, that's a good indicator of like it's probably not a likeness issue, right? I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point. If they're making it Black Series, that means Cassian. You know, I forget his actual name, the actor. I'm blanking on it, but
Oh my god. Yeah.
Diego Luna.
Yeah, Diego
Diego.
Luna. Thank you. Yeah. So maybe we'll get a Hot Toys figure of him. I would think Andor season 2 is when we get one. Another thing I'm waiting for is like Jedi Survivor. We got a stormtrooper, or we got a scout trooper commander.
Do you think though? Do you think maybe they just did that to appease the trooper people out there, the collectors?
Oh, they
Give
need
you another
to,
trooper.
They need to give us a Cal Kestis
They do.
and a
man.
Marin. You can't just give us a, but then again, I don't know because the Battlefront line also like the video game masterpiece line with this has like a snow trooper. They don't really have much as far as the video game lines go. Like they drop these little things here and there. They don't
Just
drop,
to give
really
you a little
drop in.
taste.
Yep, give you a little taste, but no Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
Yep. Steve holding out for a Cal Kestis. You're damn right. I want a Cal Kestis. But yeah. Anyways, I digress. Guys, any other closing thoughts on the episode?
It's just really good. Looking forward to seeing more. I can't wait till Tuesday, man. It's gonna
Yeah.
be fun.
This is the most excited I've been after an episode.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to the next one. Probably, yeah, I would say up there for me too, as far as like, yeah, looking forward to the next episode. Cannot wait to see what happens.
Do you think we start here in the world? Do you think we continue with this conversation?
100%? Oh, like
Yeah.
right at the beginning of the episode, do we
Yeah.
start there? I would think so.
I think we start with a flashback.
I would think so.
Oh, that'd be nice too. Yeah.
Goes right into a flashback. Yeah.
Yep. I just want to get to this last comment here from Best Record, who says, I wonder if the tracker chopper placed on the hyperdrive for the Eye of Sion would still work with it being in another galaxy. Yeah, forgot that thing was put on there.
Yeah. Good call.
Oh yeah.
Cage says, you want a Turgle too. Yeah, give me Turgle from Jedi Survivor. Cool character. But yeah, that like that's right. I forgot about that. That tracker on the hyperdrive. 16 Shooter says, I need everyone from Andor. See, you guys gotta watch Andor right now.
It's really good, guys.
Sign off.
Can't
Goodbye.
watch them all at the same time here.
Goodbye. Yes, you can.
Well, no, the good thing is Andor has zero to do with this show. So, they're focused on Rebels right now. It's probably more important. But yes, Andor is awesome.
Yes, keep watching Rebels. That being said, guys, we are at the 2-hour, 5-minute mark. Are we going to pull a wolf pack and go for another hour? 15 minutes?
I don't know, man.
No, we are not tonight.
Graham's looking sleepy over there.
No,
the
we
answer
are
is
not.
no.
No, we are not. Let me transition us back here. We'll get this off the screen. There we go. Real quick, I know Mike doesn't really post too much stuff as far as his Instagram stuff goes. Graham, do you want to plug your channel real quick? Talk about stuff you've been doing, things you got upcoming.
Yeah, well, if you guys haven't checked it out, I think a lot of you in here are pretty familiar, but we do Wolfpack Wednesdays every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern with Brick Artemis and Dilo the Collector. So that's a lot of fun. We talk 6 scale, talk topics, interact with you guys in the chat. Last week came out with a video on just repairing pleather pauldrons, or you could use it for almost any pleather material out there for accessories or whatnot. So check that out. And then today I just dropped a video on making a module case riser or DTOF riser, on just getting those lower shelves up to experience a better viewing angle of the lower shelf, and it really does help a lot. So you can check that video out. It's not too long. Coming out with reviews. Some reviews are out there too that I've done recently, but Cad Bane's coming out soon, and then doing a flashback review on A New Hope Princess Leia. So lots of stuff in the pipeline. I try to stay consistent for you guys. So just if you're new, come over, check out the Jedi Knights Watch, and would love to have you.
Nice.
Very cool. Risers, they make a difference for sure.
They do.
I'm jealous you get the high risers because you have higher ceilings than me, but take what I can get.
Yeah, those look really good.
Yeah.
And by the way, Sneaker, you guys catch me at 3 p.m. this Monday and most Mondays on the Hope Show.
Nice.
With one 6-figure focus. So yeah, look out for that.
Yeah.
It's always a great time chatting with Shane and the boys.
Yeah.
You said 3 Eastern?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Nice. Mondays 3 Eastern.
Yeah, because most of those guys are Ireland, UK, and
yep.
The
Shooters on there sometimes with us as well. The Hope Show.
Overseas. I like I like Shane's video he put out today.
Yeah.
The shit collectors say.
Yeah.
Did you secure the bag? Did you secure the bag?
Get back.
Yeah, that was good. Brick Artemis, aka Brick 6. It's only a matter of time.
I'm focusing a lot on 1/6 content right now. I got a lot of ideas, but that does not mean I don't have any Lego ideas coming up. Lego's slowly becoming more of a passion, more of a hobby. But it's not even a bad thing, because honestly, the community I'm in is 1/6, so it only makes sense. But I came out with a Black Panther review earlier in the week. My 3-year-old had a cameo, so that was great. But all fun. I do have a couple ideas for short videos that I'll probably be doing one this weekend, and maybe more reviews. Try to get better at that. Going to talk a little bit about pre-orders in a future video for 1/6, Hot Toys pre-orders. And that's pretty much it. And Wolfpack on Wednesday, I think we got Sneaker on Wednesday night. So
I'm coming on. I'm coming on the show Wednesday. Oh, that's right.
I asked you.
Maybe not.
That's right.
Maybe
That's
not.
right.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like
Mike
your
waited
shirt,
on
by the
Wednesday.
way.
God, don't be passive aggressive.
Nice
Yes,
shirt, Brick.
I will be on the Wolfpack this coming Wednesday. Yes, thank you, Brick. Hashtag not a collector.
Oh, yeah.
Just you should just hashtag passion project. Your Lego.
That's all it is, man.
I don't know what I'm doing in the future. So yeah, I'll be on Wolfpack Wednesday. Hey, you know what? I made a move today. I ordered one of those little spinny, little revolving turntables because Amazon had a lightning deal on the little
There you go.
ComSim, whatever the brand is, the nice one that I've been wanting to get for a while now. So I ordered that today because I'm going to start doing some long form content. So I am excited about doing that because I need to start putting out some more videos on that, especially now that I got my stuff displayed. There's some ideas I've had in the back pocket for a while now. So I will be doing that. I don't know if I'm going to do a collector tour or not this Monday. We'll see. I might take a little hiatus because there's some other stuff I want to start working on as far as content goes. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, especially because finally I got everything unboxed. The display is pretty much set. It's like 95% done, but everything's out of boxes. Very happy with it. But yeah, so I'm going to get going on some of that stuff. I just want to give a quick plug for good old Spotchka. Excited to be on the show next week. Yes, be bringing him on next week. He's a big Ahsoka fan, big Star Wars fan as well. I've done some content with him in the past, so excited to have him on the show. With that being said, you guys, any last words? Say them now or hold them till next week. Too sweet. All right, guys. Chat, thank you so much. Appreciate all the interaction tonight. Lots of great conversation. Hit that like button on the way out. Titer says Evil Sneaker on Wolfpack Wednesday means more Star Wars talk, so let's do it.
Maybe
we
by
need
then.
some drops. We need some drops.
We need some drops.
We'll
Give
get
us
some drops.
Yeah. Oh, Miami's Nemesis Dam came too late. That's all right, bro. You can check the replay.
Watch the replay.
It was a good one. It's a worthy replay to watch. With that being said, you guys, have a great night, everybody. Thank you, chat. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace.
Deuces.